Welcome, everybody, to episode number 85 of the Dragon's Den podcast. My name's Eric Hopkins, and I am, of course, your friendly neighborhood, non-denominational Christian, constitutional conservative, and I'm joined tonight by Brandon Captain Spooby there. We also got Matt here, but he's walked away from his camera, so I've turned his camera off for the time being. He shall return. He shall return. We'll probably have maybe Aaron Azawero on here at some point tonight, and Miranda may join us a little bit later as well.
Why is my screen so bright, brother? Do you not see that?
I can see all your face tonight. You know,
that was crazy.
It's like you've got that ring lamp like I've got turned on right now, which makes me look uber transparent. So
that was wild.
So why was it so bright? Do you have like Google pulled up like without the dark mode on, or what?
I got two monitors now because I'm growing up in the world. And I don't know. That was the first time it was that bright. I have no idea why it was that bright, but that shit took me out.
Gotta turn the brightness down, my friend, for sure. But we're glad to have you guys on the show tonight. We are, of course, live on Rumble as well. We're also live on YouTube, on Facebook, and on X, so you can follow us in those particular places in the description box below. There'll be a lot of links and stuff down there you can check out if you're finding us for the very first time. If not, thank you again for joining us again, and please hit the follow, hit subscribe, like, comment, join the conversation here on the show tonight as well. Got a lot of stuff to talk to you guys about tonight. We got some pro wrestling, got quite a bit of movie news tonight, not a whole lot of sports, so that will be kind of quick, but then of course we've got some news and politics in our Rumble and X exclusive segment to end the show as always too. So glad to be back tonight as well. Hope you guys had a great St. Patrick's Day, which hits the green theme here a little bit tonight as well. So I thought that'd be kind of a nice little callback there to old St. Patrick. Mike's in the chat, one of our loyal listeners. He says, Matt better be returning with tonight's feast and his baseball notes for later. Don't know if he's prepared any baseball stuff or not, but he did say he'd have some thoughts on the March Madness going on right now because he's more of the college basketball guru around here a little bit than me. I'm still a little bit, here he comes. There he is.
Sorry.
Hey, what's up, man?
All right. We're going to talk about a little bit of this.
Yes, we're going to talk a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah. What is that little like a pixelated
Pop?
Yeah, it's like a pixelated version.
Yeah, it's also a bobblehead and it's collectible.
Minecraft.
So, stuck on that, Eric. Second of all,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little jelly right now.
Yeah, I know you are. By the way, Eric, I bought it at Target.
Yeah, nice. Target's got some exclusives, as a matter of fact.
This came out exclusively when Spider-Man: No Way Home came out.
Nice.
And I had to grab it. We'll talk Spider-Man later.
Yes. I'm curious what your thoughts are when we get there, because you were being a different opinion than mine, or you were trolling me. One of the two.
I'll just share my thoughts.
Okay. Well,
I have a couple about that too, because I've
got some deep dives in it and stuff too with that one
last night at work, and then I listened to a review of somebody who I listen to who does reviews, and I trust their opinions when it comes to movies, and his thoughts and stuff on it, and I should say their thoughts on it, but I'll wait to talk about that when we get to that though.
Yeah, we'll definitely be diving deep in the Spider-Man trailer. We got a couple other little trailers to talk about, as well as some other movie news. But the Spider-Man trailer will definitely be diving a little deeper on what everything could possibly mean. We'll do some theorizing, that whole sort of thing. Miranda may not be here for that because I know it's not always her forte, but that's okay. I mean, we still want to have her on the show as much as possible because we enjoy her presence. But she'll maybe join us for the news and politics section a little bit later on, so stick around. Mike also said, by the way, I'm damn glad I'm not a celebrity right now. 2026 has not been kind. I'm the celebrity. No. And we're going to list. We're going to talk about two people who did pass away today. Obviously, most of you have heard about one, maybe not have heard about the other. And
I was upset about one of them. We'll talk about that later.
It's never a good thing, but it does seem to happen in threes when it comes to the world of Hollywood. I don't know why that is, or just famous people in general. It may not be Hollywood in particular, but so keep an eye on maybe that third person. Unfortunately, I don't know how true it was. I heard a rumor that William Shatner had fell off his horse. If that's the case, I hope he's okay. I don't know how true that was. Like I said, I haven't seen that myself.
Why would you own a horse be in Hollywood?
Well, people love to ride horses and stuff, and if you grew up doing it and you did it in your younger years, when you're older, you're not going to veer from it. But it's just like at 94 years old, if that was the case and that happened to him, that could be unfortunately bad for him, because
You'd be proud of me.
on the floor could be bad.
I just censored my own F words there, so that way you didn't have to do it yourself, Eric. So you're proud there.
I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, on Rumble, you're definitely allowed to say a lot more than you are.
Okay,
man, that is wild. 94 years old on a horse, like that's crazy work.
I want to check. I mean, I'm on Twitter right now. Let me see if there's any validity to that. I just know I heard that.
You guys would be proud of me. I watched a wrestling match last night. Okay, you'd be proud of me.
Breaking story.
Mm-hmm.
I watched an old TNA wrestling match. Okay.
Not bad.
Before you get into that too much, William Shatner, that is true. He has to have shoulder surgery.
Okay.
So if that's all he's got, though, that's actually at 94, but even that can be a little scary too.
And the wrestling that I watched was Christian Cage versus Samoa Joe.
Oh, not a bad. Well,
TNA or AEW? Joe?
No,
TNA.
This is TNA. This is TNA. Okay. This is early TNA too.
Still good.
And TNA had the Samoan Warriors with him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no, that was not the best Samoa Joe. Like, I'm sorry. Okay. There's a stint in Samoa Joe's career in TNA where he
might not be.
But for Matt, that's probably a decent match.
Okay. Yeah.
I enjoyed Samoa Joe got just DQ'd because he tried to hang Christian Cage off the turnbuckle.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
that gets you disqualified.
No in the world of pro wrestling unless it's a no DQ match or something.
I will say this real quick. I had an interesting moment with one of the young guy we work with on my shift, and we must have talked about wrestling for a good 20 or 30 minutes. Where now he knew he used to watch wrestling back in the day. Like, his extent of wrestling is WWF/WWE, but it's like the early of like the before the pandemic time. Like, he knew who
PG era
the last time. Yeah, it's kind of like the reference of when Shield was still a thing, because one of his favorite wrestlers
post 2015 or so.
Yeah. So because one of his favorite wrestlers was Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, and he had no idea that he wasn't there anymore. He hasn't watched wrestling since the Shield breakup, I believe. And
but we just had that too. Yeah,
it was just an interesting conversation with this kid about wrestling and stuff. Like, it felt, I don't know what's the right word to use here.
Gratifying.
It was more intriguing to hear a perspective of wrestling from somebody who's been so detached from what it is now, right?
Right.
And his likes and dislikes of wrestling, as far as what engages him, I guess. You know what I mean? Because it's different for everybody. Everybody knows what pops them for wrestling. Some people it's high spots, some people it's the storytelling, some people really love the technical aspect of wrestling. It just depends on what floats your boat in that aspect. Surprisingly, his was, he was more into the story-driven part of wrestling. Action, yes, but like, he's not a young guy who likes, the high flyers or shit like that. He likes more of the technical side of wrestling. It was just an interesting conversation.
It would have been interesting. You said he was older gentleman?
No, he's in his I think he might be 20 now.
Okay. But I tell you what, some of these young kids today, if he's more onto the technical side of things, I'd been interested to see what he would have been like as a fan, like back in the 80s, early 90s. Yeah. But even during the Attitude Era, like a lot of wrestling fans like only know what's in the last 20 years, and a lot of that's not great stuff, especially from WWE. It's gotten better, but there's a lot of bad wrestling storylines and just matches.
There was a lot of bad wrestling and storylines even when we were younger growing up watching wrestling, and we only had to choose between WCW and WWF. Like the Monday Night Wars were, like I said, if you ever get a chance to listen to Wrestling Bios, the Monday Night Wars recap, like where he goes from the start of the wars all the way to the end, like there was a lot of shit.
Yeah, there's
on
a lot
both
of
sides.
We remember it fondly because it was popular. Yeah. There was a lot of good, but if you go back and look at a lot of the undercard stuff, especially in WWE, well, WCW too, there's a lot of trash.
WCW had the better undercard, hands down. The
match-wise, especially.
Yeah. Yes, but that they had actual storylines for depending on who was in charge. Mm-hmm. I give Vince Russo shit, and I will always give Vince Russo shit because he did a lot of dumb shit.
Some of it's deserved, yeah.
But what he did with the cruiserweight division in WCW, you can't tell me shit. On top of that, the guys in that cruiserweight division were fucking phenomenal. Almost every pay-per-view that WCW put on, the best thing on the show was the cruiserweights.
And a lot of times they kicked off the show to get it going.
Yeah.
And it was smart. That's a smart move. But.
WWF at the time, during the whole Monday Night Wars, had the better main event, had the better heavyweight scene, had the better star scene.
I'll relate
as far as matches and story. Mm-hmm. Their undercard, WWF's undercard was garbage.
Yeah, but
until the Rascals came. Well, not the Rascals. The Radicals came along.
Yeah, I get them confused too now.
Yeah, I know. Rey Mysterio showed up. Like until WWF/E started to build up that lower mid card cruiser, whatever you want to call it, it was nothing. Jericho was a big help to that, but he was also a main event guy too. So
right. But he was one of those guys who dominated in that undercard in WCW when they came over. It's what helped. Yeah, you know what I mean. And some of that mid card stuff.
Booker T. I don't give
Booker T. Right now, right?
For the moment, he may be going back to WWE, but time will tell on that one. We'll see. He'll be retiring soon, though.
Okay.
Was an unsung hero for me in the WCW Attitude Era. He went under the radar on a lot of shit. Like I said, watching that Wrestling Bio stuff blew my mind to like actually listen to and go back and recap these. Booker T was, and I don't understand how he never really got that push in WCW to the fullest extent. Like it was a start-stop thing with him for whatever fucking reason. And the GI Bro thing was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life too. Like, but he made it
out. Oh, you're talking about the camo.
So yes. Me and a coworker, okay. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't know if he wants his name mentioned or not. So I'm not going to mention his name.
That's fine.
He is a big wrestling fan, and he goes to wrestling matches all the time.
I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And there's a wrestler. He's in. I think he's a TNA wrestler. He was in the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
He's the one that comes out and does the when he comes out like the dance. Like the toe.
You ain't talking about a strut, are you? Like this?
Yeah, like the strut. Yeah, he does the strut.
That's Oba, I think. That's not TNA.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
it's not a dance though. Well, it kind of is.
He absolutely loves that wrestler, and he is. Every time he talks about, every time he comes back over to the work area, he does that stupid strut that he does, and it makes me laugh so hard because we were talking the other day, and he's talking about the whole feud going on between him and Lesnar right now. They're getting ready to start.
I promise you this: if I ever, and I know who you're talking about, caught him doing that, or he hasn't done it to me yet. We were just talking about this.
He does it all the time, Brandon.
He has not done it to me yet.
Boy,
I'm gonna do it to him now. Next time I see him, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm going to.
Brandon, he does it every time. And the other thing he does to me is he'll quote LA Knight, and he'll look at me and he'll go, "Yeah, damn it." And it makes me laugh so hard.
Yeah. He does that. No, he does do that.
Then he'll go, let me say something to you.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you.
Well, you know how you always say, "Hey, let me just say this." You need to start saying, "Let me talk to you" instead.
Yeah,
that would fit you perfectly.
He says, let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you.
And he goes, "Yeah, dummy."
Got a few chats in here from Mike. Let's get into real quick here. He said March 12th. He said March 12th. The Shat fell off his high horse and shattered his shoulder. Talking about William Shatner. So I guess it was this week, or late last week or whatnot.
He is forever known on this podcast as the Shat.
The Shat.
The Shat is crazy.
Hey, I got fond memories of William Shatner from the Star Trek days, no doubt. But yeah, he also said, Mike in the chat said, I've been watching some old Memphis wrestling, particularly from 1986 when I first found it, and dang, I missed those days. He said every wrestling school needs to have sessions where they just watch old stuff and learn storytelling and how to draw some mega heat. I can agree with that. And he said, I wish I had time to just do a sideshow with you guys and just retell some of the storylines and wrestlers I saw then. Yeah, that would have been that'd be pretty cool. Not just talking like old 1980s and stuff. Just to chat and talk about wrestling, in general would be great. I know we spend a little bit of time on this every week.
Yeah.
It's just finding time and schedule.
There were some fond days of wrestling even back then, but at the same time, there was a lot of garbage you had to sit through.
I think that's just wrestling,
because I think wrestling is such a what's the word? Like
not amalgamation of
it's an amalgamation of entertainment. You're doing who
doing different storylines at the same time, and not everything's going to hit, and everything's going like the same sort of thing. And it's kind of like art in a way.
I think did you ever watch Lucha Underground?
Sporadic, but not a whole lot. But the way they did it was different.
Yes, but that seems like how wrestling should be shot. You get what I'm saying? Because the stories play out like soap operas. The action is the action, right?
Right.
And in Lucha Underground, it was this theatrical production that was shot like a literal soap opera.
Television.
But then the wrestling was the wrestling, and it was good wrestling. But like that's what it feels like wrestling nowadays should be. Was what Lucha Underground was.
They'd probably definitely fit WWE at least, especially because they're more on that, cinema, I guess you could call it. I mean, there's storylines and storytelling in AEW and other companies too, but WWE tends to want to produce it and present it in a different way. And I actually heard that they actually replaced somebody backstage. I think was supposed to be involved with like Titantrons and like sets and stuff like that. So we might start seeing some changes in that regard in some of the presentations.
I miss the old sets from the old pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's just all the same every week. Like now, granted, I get the weekly shows having a certain Titantrons and stuff, but like the pay-per-views used to all be like, designed differently every single show, but it felt unique. I'm hoping we get.
What was the one that had the fist? That
SmackDown.
Was it SmackDown?
I couldn't tell you what year. I think it was 2002. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think my favorite one was the oval looking one.
Yeah, the original 1999.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
Before Jericho got speared through the stage by Rhino to end that stage, that was pretty cool.
The No Way Out glass.
Oh yeah.
Angle suplexed Shane through.
Yeah, I think it was No Way Out. I'll take
I think it was No Way Out.
Is he there? No Mercy. I can't remember, but
it might have been No Mercy.
I just watched a video of Kurt Angle talking about that actually, how it wasn't sure. Really? Yeah, they had to go through it. He said it. They said it sucked. But anyway, Mike also said, can you believe that March 26th, which is next week, will mark 25 years since the end of the Monday Night War? That makes me feel old, and I know he mentioned that to us in the chat. But yeah, it's definitely something to share. I think he said we're also coming up on 30 years. Since the NWO was formed with Hogan turning heel, if I'm not mistaken, is that what he said?
Man, do you want to? That was a major plot point in wrestling. I remember when that happened. I was watching the night it happened when he went heel.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch the pay-per-view, but I was more of a WWE guy. I tried to watch WCW when I could, but with school and everything, I had to watch it on recording, and sometimes I didn't get a chance.
Well, yeah, I got it from my teacher, Mr. Yang. He would record the pay-per-views for us, because we could watch them obviously. So he'd record them, and then for home period, I would just go up to his class if I didn't have his class for fourth period, and go up to his class and me. My buddy, Dev and Jay,
wheel the TV on the tray in the classroom.
He would take the tray because he had like this side office outside of his classroom. So he had like an office outside of his classroom, and he would wheel the TV in there for us. So we would just go in there for our break, for 20 minutes or whatever before we go to lunch and watch the pay-per-views and shit. Dude, he was super cool.
Yeah, there were some cool teachers back in the day. I don't know how they are nowadays. I'm sure there's some good ones out there, but for sure. I mean, I'm
my teachers were cool.
lot of cool. It just seems like a lot of people are homeschooled nowadays, or they
Yeah,
do schooling online a
it
lot more.
seems
I just don't know if
yeah,
that's the thing.
but that's what they do a lot of that. I had this, I'll talk to you about that theory later, but like it, school is it's not what it was, but it wasn't like it was great for us either. Like it
Yeah.
was
Tornado, go outside, put a book over your head. You're good. We'll have pizza for lunch
go
today.
sit in the hallway
That's the way our tornado drills went. Like that's
get
not
under
gonna
your
save
desk.
anybody, fam. But yeah. It's like that show on South Park where it's like if a volcano goes off, just duck and cover. That's about it's not gonna do you any dang but good, but we're trying.
Real quick, when you were in school, just because we're here with this, did you guys ever play a game called Heads Up 7 Up?
Yeah. I can't remember. Is that? Oh, that's the one where you
put your
head
thumb
up. Yeah. And you put your thumb down if you were tagged or something like that.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember what the end result was supposed to be, but
we were talking about this, and turns out that Butter was a cheater. It Heads Up 7 Up.
That does not surprise me.
He also cheated.
That Butter would do that.
He also cheated in Duck Duck Goose. And I was like,
that also does not surprise me that Butter would do that.
Do you remember how the game Heads Up 7 Up worked? I don't remember. I just remember the head down.
Yeah, I remember the head.
You put your head down on the desk. Oh. Then you put your thumb up. Two or three people were it. And what they would do is they'd pick 2 or 3 people that they would put their thumb down, and they have to stand up at the front in class and guess who the person was that put their thumb down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what he would do was he would put his head down far enough on the desk, but so you could see the floor, just so you could see the shoes.
I see. Well, how else are you going to know? I mean, like if you're legitimately playing it,
9 times out of 10, what would happen is if you had your head down and one of your friends were picked,
thumbs up, 7 up.
Thumbs up, 7 up. That's
it may not be heads up. Yeah, your head's down, but anyway, yeah.
But you knew who was tagging you because a lot of times you just tagged your friends. So like, if say you got your head down and it's me and like 2 other randos, I'm the one that's gonna tag you. The randos aren't gonna fucking do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always that's what it always was. But yeah, he cheated. I was like, who cheats?
we probably used to spend like whole class times doing something like that.
Brother,
I mean it's a it's a social activity to get the kids to
we
get
talked
along.
About dodgeball. They never played a game. Did you guys ever play a game called Scatter?
No, maybe.
No.
It's when you would get all together in a circle. And you know that ball, not the one they use now, but that old rubber ball that they used to use for dodgeball. You know the one
Ping!
That would take
every time it hits you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you toss. So you're in a big circle, right? And you toss the ball up in the air. Everybody.
Oh yeah, you don't want to. Yeah.
And the ball hits the ground. You want to be the first one. It's kind of like Hunger Games in this regard, but you want to be the first one to grab the ball, but you don't want to be close enough to the person who grabbed the ball because they're gonna wing that ball at you.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they never played that. I was like, you guys, rough and tumble, never played that. I was like, the same concept as Scatter, but with a football. Instead of trying to throw the football, you're trying to score a touchdown between the 2 goals, right? So when you throw the ball up in the air and everybody scatters, but you're going to come back for that ball because you want to try to get the touchdown, but you're going to get hit immediately. And if you
a lot of people probably didn't want to play.
If you were dumb enough to stand there to try to catch the ball, you're wide open. And like, there's no pads here.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's
you're
like
just you're taking shoulder, chest. Like you drop the ball. We just move around you.
Well, in our school too, like we had PE with the boys, girls had their, I don't recall ours being together. Well, they might have been together, but I think
ours was
obviously we separate locker rooms and stuff.
Like when in elementary school,
I think certain games maybe they split it, like that. You can't hit, you can't tackle some,
But, no. See, that's all. Those are games we played at recess.
Oh,
these aren't games we played in school. Like in PE in school. No, that's usually with the big parachute, or you did crab soccer, or just shot basketball while somebody played volleyball on the other side. Like you just did a lot of indoor stuff. But when we were outside for like recess, that's when the games got prison worthy.
Yeah,
I hated shuttle runs. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
I hated those. It's like, of course, I mean, I wasn't as good shape as I am now.
Basketball during our recess time. That's all I did. I ever played was basketball and what we did was we never kept score.
Mhm.
We never. All we did is just go there and shoot around
That's that
until
young kid in you.
somebody gets into a fist fight,
Yeah.
and that's usually what ends it. And then we resume it the next day.
Didn't keep
Our
score.
recess as kids was like it was anarchy because you went outside and like the whole purpose was we're just gonna try to hurt each other. I don't know why we did. Who plays full contact football, no pads in the 6th grade? We did.
Everyone.
Yeah,
like,
I'll get to his other check here because Mike, like he says, in the 90s we just didn't give a damn. That's why we did. You know, I mean, it was survival of the fittest back in the day. He also said I wasn't in class for this, but I had one teacher who was also the cross country coach at the time fire off a starter pistol in class on a dare, I guess is what he meant. Dude did not care. Loved that guy. So there you go. That's one way to keep him on your toes for sure. All right, well, we got some topics to run through here. Let's get into so we can keep things moving along here. And of course, we got some pro wrestling, so let's dive right into that. We'll kind of follow along on that conversation we already been having. So here we go. All righty, we got quite a few interesting topics here for WWE and AEW this week. And the first topic coming up from WWE is actually from last Friday night. And talk about Aura. This photograph right here made the rounds after Randy Orton, after I don't know how many years it's been since he's been a heel, but it's been a hot minute. He utterly destroyed Cody Rhodes on SmackDown last week and advancing the storyline for their their WWE Undisputed Championship match at WrestleMania. And of course, only 3 things are certain in life: death, taxes, and Cody Rhodes getting his butt kicked on the road to WrestleMania, because The Rock laid him out a few years back, John Cena laid him out last year, and this year it's Randy Orton. Now, normally this goes pretty well for Cody Rhodes in the end. This year, obviously, he is coming in as the champion, much like he was doing I did last year, I guess. John Cena beat him last year for the title, so not so much. And first year, WrestleMania 39 against Roman, he didn't win either. So I guess he's betting about 500 right now, as a matter of fact. So
some people just can't wrestle.
Well, and some people are ready to see kind of Cody maybe go the heel route potentially. I don't know if this could maybe eventually lead to that or not, but they're going the Randy Orton route here. And don't let me wrong, fans were absolutely loving this. They were happy to see heel Randy Orton come back, and I am definitely one of those fans. But he left Cody Rhodes in a bloody heap last week for sure, basically throwing their friendship completely out the window, because Randy Orton is chasing title number 15 in the chase for the number 17 record held by John Cena at this point. If he gets to 15, he'll be one step away from Ric Flair. I believe he'll tie Triple H, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he'll tie Triple H.
Okay, so
he'll be one away from Rick, but I think that's where he stays. I don't see him. So. I don't think he ties John, because I don't think that's a goal he wants for him. I think he'd be more than content with tying with one of his biggest mentors in wrestling, in Ric Flair. I mean, obviously Triple H is a huge part of his mentorship and friendship and tree. He'd love to probably tie him as well, but like I think Triple H would do him the solid and give him 16, and I think Randy would end his career with that.
No, I can totally see. So I know we've kind of talked a little bit about maybe what we think may happen at WrestleMania. We still got about a month or so to go before that event does take place. But have we kind of changed our mind here? Could potentially, I think we're thinking that Cody Rhodes was going to retain, but with this change in the storyline, I think the odds of Randy Orton coming out of this with title 15 has just gone up. So do you think it's changed?
I think look, I said it before, I wasn't a fan of, and I knew Randy was going to beat Drew, but I wasn't a fan of it. I have my reasons why I wasn't a fan of it, just because I don't know. I'm not over Cody, but I am over Cody. That makes sense. Like,
I mean, it's one of those type of characters that can get stale if they don't do something different with it. So they very well may pivot Cody at some point down the line here. But going into Mania, it's going to be the same old Cody, same rules that we've been seeing for the last few years.
And but that works for that reason, though, because Cody is great if he has someone to be great up against. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Cody is the ultimate underdog. Well, can't say underdog. That's a Sami Zayn thing. Cody is the ultimate babyface. Like he is. I'm sorry. There's no way around that. But he's also a great heel. But I feel like he needs a really big catalyst to pivot him to that direction. And Randy could be it. But like, if we're going by a heel face standard, just heel face standard, there was no way you could do this between Randy and Drew. I mean, if you flip the coin or flip the scene, say it's Randy in Cody's position, right? And you got Drew in Randy's position. Would it still be good? Sure. But people know that there's another gear with Randy, period. Like, we've seen him as the apex predator. We've seen him as the legend killer. Like, we know what Randy can be.
Oh, yeah.
Once
that sadistic side, if it comes out, you know?
Yeah. So it's better this way because, again, Cody is that ultimate babyface. And you know Randy can be that apex predator, the Viper.
I mean,
like
Randy Orton literally handcuffed Triple H to a ring post while his wife Stephanie was knocked out, and then he kissed her on the lips in front of Hunter, where Hunter couldn't do anything about it. Sadistic as hell, and and that's just one of the few things.
The punt kick phase of Randy Orton, where he was the apex, that's when he heard voices, and when he was punt kicking everybody, all those legends, the legend killer story itself, that whole storyline where he was taking out everybody's, these childhood legends of everybody, just RKOing them, punt kicking them. Hell, he even punt kicked Vince McMahon. Like, there was a side of Randy that was just so dominant as a heel, and like we haven't seen it since he came back at what was it? Survivor Series. And even before then, because he was tagging with before his injury and he was gone. The last person he was with he doesn't work there no more.
Oh crap. I don't remember either. Riddle, was it? Riddle?
Yeah, Riddle.
Yeah. Well, actually, because Mike mentioned it in the chat, he said there actually was a story saying that Randy has been a face since like 2021, turned face when he started teaming with Riddle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If that's the case, that's a long time. It's 5 years since he's been a heel, and that's an eternity in pro wrestling sometimes. I mean, hell, like most careers don't last 5 years, let alone, it's crazy.
But when Randy came back, dude, like everybody wanted to cheer him. He had that nice little one-liner with Rhea where she was mommy. He goes, "Where daddy's home." You know what I mean? Like, nobody wanted to boo Randy, and like, I get it, but like this Randy over here, brother, this is the Randy I remember. This is the Randy that I was about. So like,
and there's two elements of this I wanted to bring up. Number one, Cody, obviously, like you said, Drew would have been great. Still don't know what Drew's going to be doing just yet. He's doing this storyline with Nick Aldis, so I still kind of think him and Nick Aldis could be the match at WrestleMania. Jacob Fatu is going to be in the mix somewhere as well.
Jacob is dude.
Yeah, for me though, but I just feel like what they do is they have Drew set the table.
Sometimes
yeah. And let me tell you something. I don't think that's a bad thing for Drew, but I'd like to see him in a moment. But
yeah, he's had a few.
But if he's it's a good table setter match, he's done a great job doing that, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's just unfortunately settled into that particular role, and hopefully he'll have some more moments. He's still got some.
He'll still end up being a multiple-time champion. You know what I mean? Like, it's just his runs are short. And it's the reason why, and like legitimately the reason why, is because Drew's such a dominating heel. Like, it's hard to put somebody up against that. You know what I mean? So like, you have to have somebody who is just as dominant on the other. Hell, he was a dominant babyface. Like it depends on who he's going up against to where you can extend the story. Like the one with him and CM Punk was fucking phenomenal. Like, but
that was a great year-long feud too, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I know it gets a little bit crapped on sometimes, but I kind of liked it actually.
I enjoyed it.
It became uber personal too. But that's another thing I wanted to talk about here too. Like, there's two aspects of this with Cody and Randy. They got that history of being in Legacy. Orton basically kind of brought him into the WWE in that regard, and of course now they're kind of diving into this other storyline here that was hinted out on Monday Night Raw. They were trying to get an interview with Randy Orton after this dastardly deed that he did on SmackDown, and it was on the phone with someone. And during this segment, it was revealed that Randy met up with this person on the phone several weeks ago. This person reminded Randy who he was, and they spoke about what he had to do to Cody Rhodes. And then Randy looked at the camera and he said, "Hey, Cody, wrestling has more than one royal family," which is obviously Cody Rhodes's, entrance theme song. It's the very beginning, talking about the Rhodes family is a royal family, but it's not just the McMahons. It's not just the Samoan family. The Rhodes is another part of the family. So the question going around right now is, who was Randy Orton talking to that talked him into going back to this persona that's been so successful for him over these years and being so sadistic, as it were? A lot of people were speculating maybe it's like Ric Flair from the old Evolution days. I know Rick's kind of getting up there in age. I don't know if he'd be on television anymore. Could it be maybe The Rock? I mean, because the Johnson family.
But
I don't know. Or maybe it just means the Orton family itself. I don't know.
I just think it's his dad, or
could be,
or it could be. Man, I don't know. It could be. Anyway, it could be Bret Hart. That'd be hilarious.
Well, there's another family I'm going to mention just a little bit. Mike just mentioned in the chat, but I'm going to mention too when we get to that story. But yeah, that's a possibility too. I don't think so, based on everything, because it just happened. But never say never. I mean, that's a good thought, Mike. We'll get to it just a second here.
I don't know with what's going on with that whole family right now, and
probably not. But it would also tie into the legacy angle for sure. Because they were all a team together, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So it'd be interesting. And I told Mike in the chat, let us know if there's any spoilers. I do have one for SmackDown tonight, but we don't have anything major on the major storyline front to talk about tonight just yet. But it's kind of hard to do when the show's kind of going on during SmackDown. But anyway, this is going to be one of your main events for WrestleMania 42. Rhodes and Orton. Looking forward to seeing what they end up doing there. I think it's probably going to main event night 1 and CM Punk and Roman night 2. Probably.
Listen to me. We can stop talking about this. Nothing is main eventing night 2 but CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
And we're going to talk about them in just a
second. Foregone conclusion in that one. You know what I mean? Like, that's happening.
Yeah. But a match that I kind of think could have like WrestleMania implications for sure. Speaking of Oba Femi, our friend at work's favorite wrestler, Oba Femi on Monday Night Raw this week answered the open challenge from Brock Lesnar. And he actually come out during the fact that Brock Lesnar was trying to take out Seth Rollins for what Seth Rollins did to Paul Heyman a few weeks ago. But he was cut off by Oba Femi in the ring. Oba Femi lifted him up and gave this huge powerbomb fall-away slam, as it were, knocking out Brock Lesnar on the mat. And then, of course, Oba stood above him, dominant. Not many wrestlers on the roster can you potentially believe in this spot that could actually be a challenge to Brock Lesnar. But Oba Femi, the upcoming upstart from NXT, now on the main roster, is one of those guys. He's actually taller than Brock and could potentially even be bigger than Brock. So yeah, this is going to be a clash of the Titans that they actually teased in the Royal Rumble earlier this year. What are your thoughts?
Listen. There are not a lot of moments in wrestling where something truly, I don't know what you want to say, like tingles you. Like that's the wrong word to use in this aspect.
Gives you the goosebumps.
Yes.
Get the big tingle. Yeah. Nice call. Foreshadowing there.
When Brock is in that ring and that whole thing is playing out, and the lights go out, and then you hear, Oba's music. That crowd fucking erupted.
Yeah.
And I want to say this first too, because about a week ago we heard a story where I seen the story where they were saying Brock didn't want to work with Oba, like period. Not gonna be a thing.
That's crazy. I don't know how true that is, but I hope it's not.
It can't be that true, because what took place in that ring.
Yeah, okay.
Go for it. You realize when Oba got in the ring and they're standing face to face, Brock waited for the crowd. Yeah. When they started going, Oba, like he waited, let it die off. Yeah. Even Seth Rollins was like just standing back, like, just wait a second. Because all that could have been way faster than
he could have just immediately hit him as soon as he hit the ring. And patience is key here.
Seth walks up, Brock turns to run him off, turns around. When's the last time you seen Brock get powerbombed? Period.
Picked up at all, let alone maybe Goldberg, but you know, the age those two guys are, it wasn't great. But yeah, I mean, this is, and not only that, once he power bombed Brock's laying there. If you go back and watch it, Brock told him, put your step on me, step on me. Yeah, that way you look dominant, point at the sign, and the intensity in this moment built this match up perfectly.
Did you not see Brock grab his leg and try to reach up with the other hand? Like,
yeah,
brother, I'm like, there's no shot. He knows.
Yeah, I think Brock is all about this. I really do. This to me is Brock giving back to the business. I know a lot of people, I know Mike in particular is not a fan of his part-time schedule and all that stuff. I understand maybe if he's overpaid or whatnot. But in this case, if he does the right thing, and as Mike mentioned in the chat, Oba wins or we riot at WrestleMania. If he puts over Oba, if Oba don't win this is the worst booking decision I've ever seen in my life.
There's no way Oba's not winning this match.
Oba, I'm not saying he has to dominate Brock, but he has to win this match for sure. And if he dominates Brock, even better. But if that's the case, it's almost like
if this is a squash match, Brock is just like, he should just fucking destroy me. Like if he
might, I would almost rather see them kind of go back, but I totally get it. If it's
I would love to see Brock pick up Oba for an F5, hit him with it, and
kick
Oba
out
kicks
one.
Out of it. Yeah,
not even at one. You know what I mean? Like
goes for a suplex city, and Oba just breaks it.
Oba just gets up, starts walking around the ring. Oh, you know, and Brock's just sitting there like, what do I do? You know, that'd be hilarious. But I don't know if they're going to do all that.
Because you've never seen him panic before. To see Brock like really panic, like there's no shot. He even with Cena. How many suplexes was that? 18?
Something like that. It was huge. It was a lot.
And he kept kicking out, kept getting up. Have somebody like Oba where he goes to, do the suplexes and Oba just breaks the hold and then turns it on him. You know what I mean? Like to watch Brock get destroyed by somebody like Oba, it sets Oba up way more than Gunther tapping out John Cena. And Gunther was already a made man.
That's another question. I don't know what they're going to do with Gunther just yet at WrestleMania. He might unfortunately get stuck in like a mid-card tag, like multi-man match or something like that.
Maybe.
But yeah. So we'll have to time will tell, but this match is on my most anticipated, one of the top 5.
I'm glad we're getting something like this with Oba and not that damn battle royal that they used to do for the Andre the Giant.
Yes, I'm kind of over that one for sure. Yeah, because it just never didn't lead anywhere after a long time. The first couple did a little bit, like they pushed him a bit, but after that, it just didn't mean anything for sure.
But I'm
this
just saying,
match gonna be great.
Normally, this is what you would get with Oba.
Sure,
Vince is not doing this. Like I don't give a shit. What did you think? Vince ain't doing this. Not to Brock.
No.
So Oba would end up in a battle royale where he'd win that, and then that's that.
Right. Well, this is going to be great for sure, but we got some other stuff here, so let's move it along a little bit here. But for the other main event, WrestleMania, another promo segment, which don't get me wrong, I think this is a great promo segment. However, I do want to see some other stuff between these guys besides them just sitting there talking in the ring with each other every single week. But I like the wrinkle. I like the wrinkle they did. I agree.
It's the build-up. Now it's physical.
Yeah. Well, and then, of course, you interject the Usos last week. That was good. And then Roman this week, before the promo segment, said, any other Samoan, you got business to take care of? He's all yours, but at WrestleMania, he's mine. That weekend, he's mine. But the rest, before and after, he's yours. So if you got a problem with him. So he essentially sicked the Samoan dynasty on CM Punk, essentially. He even though later he's like, well, I didn't say anybody had to attack you. I'm just saying if they feel like they got to do what they got to do, that's on them, So that was kind of cool. I like that bit here too. Also, this here had Roman Reigns was supposed to respond, according to reports, to CM Punk's comments about burying him next to his father with a little bit darker line this week. Roman was supposed to reference Larry's dog, Larry, or Punk's dog, Larry, being deceased, and potentially, going a little bit further. They ended up not doing it. I think he did say something about him being around his dog all the time, but they didn't say anything dark in regards to the dog's passing. I guess they thought maybe that was a little too far. But however, he did say that you're old to CM Punk, which led to CM Punk punching Roman Reigns right in the face, and he went down, and Roman smiled back at him. Obviously, the punch didn't seem to affect him too much. And then, of course, that's when Punk kind of left livid. Now, the thing about this that's great is CM Punk was talking about how he's already in Roman's head, so he's already won in his eyes. But as soon as Roman mentioned he was old, which we've even commented here on the channel about him looking kind of slow. Maybe he's starting to get up there in age, and maybe it's starting to catch up with him in the ring. Roman, the best line that Roman delivered wasn't even on the microphone. He looked into the camera and said, basically, you know what? He says he's in my head and all that stuff, but you say one thing and he snaps. So who's in whose head now? And so it's like, that was the best part of it, because he's right.
But I think that's the thing. I know you're saying you want to see something different with these two. It's not often, even when Roman was so damn dominant for the 4 years that he was, that we got a real story with him just playing mind games with people, using more, instead of just beating them up before he, what I mean? Like, this is him in a different approach of being in control of the situation, where CM Punk thinks he's in control. He says all this stuff and he thinks he's bothering Roman, but he's not. But it's Roman's the one who's bothering CM Punk, one, because he's not reacting in the way that CM Punk wants him to. And Roman being so calm and collected and cool to make these statements, but I know, he said what he said about him being old and that would cause Punk to punch him. It's kind of like, why was that it? Why was that?
Yeah,
the thing?
I was kind of the same way. It's like, okay, he said you're old. That triggered you? Like of everything else.
About it,
yeah.
He's been saying that from the jump, though. Roman has to him. Like, you're not what you used to be, you're not. I am. Anything, your name isn't anything anymore. It couldn't even get you to come back here. It couldn't even get you back in the door. That was me. You know what I mean? Like, it's this sole realization from CM Punk's side that Roman is right. And
I think that's why he left mad too, because he's like, there's truth in that. It's good. The mind games are great.
Of storytelling that, like, again, you don't see that well or that much in wrestling nowadays. But it is, when you can do it right and you have the right actors, brother, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, and I think what they have done so far has been really good. But I am with Mike on this a little bit. He's like, I'm kind of over the weekly scripted shoots, quote unquote. Probably just, it's not. So like I said when I started this part here, I said I want to see them start to get more physical now, bring it to the next level. Because we've seen now about 3 promo segments between these two guys. It's like, all right, now we've got a punch thrown here. Let's see where this goes over the next month to get this build up really personal. You know what I'm saying? Let's get there. So
I don't think you're going to see Roman be the one to get physical with CM Punk until Mania.
I expect some.
Happen. I think that's part of the
Samoans to attack.
Yeah, I think you're going to get, some of the
bloodline,
Jimmy and Jay. Yeah,
maybe even like a Solo Sikoa getting upset about something. Maybe, I don't know, or that whole
maybe
crew.
A Jacob. Hell, maybe I've seen the reaction that Zilla Fatu had on on the internet, like what he said and stuff, like, and the tweet that he laid to Roman and Roman's response to that tweet, like,
well, and this all kind of plays into what happened on SmackDown tonight. On SmackDown tonight, we do have one spoiler. We got new WWE Tag Team Champions.
You damn right we do, and I fucking love the shit out of this.
So congrats to the Judgment Day, as the SmackDown's version won the tag titles, but who they won them from goes into the story. They just beat the MFTs, which is Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, or Tala Tonga, or whichever Tonga had the title with him. So again, if they're now free of the tag team obligation, does this free up the MFTs to get into this storyline with the bloodline a little bit here?
Maybe.
Potentially. I don't know how it's going to play out. They're heels. Technically, I know you're on the belief Roman is still a heel technically. And of course, they had the split with the Solo Sikoa faction of the bloodline, all this stuff too. But if there's other rumors are true that Roman's going to win the title from Punk at Mania and then maybe rebuild the OG bloodline, this could get very bloodline story centric again. That's kind of where their butter's been bred, as it were, or bread's been buttered, whatever, has been over the last few years with that bloodline stuff. So they may be kind of defaulting back to that until maybe they can come up with some better storyline.
But you think this is more or less, if that's the case, they could be setting up Solo to be the one of the new head of the bloodline in general? Like,
maybe. Like, I mean, they tried it a little bit, didn't quite take.
Hell,
I'd do it with Jay. Like,
Yeah.
everybody wants to say that, well, Jay's not a great single star. Okay, fine.
Bullshit.
Then,
Bullshit.
well, okay, but let's just assume that that's true, right?
Okay.
Then have him start his own bloodline with his brother, maybe his two brothers with Solo.
His brothers, yeah.
His brothers, maybe you could bring in Zilla, whatever you got to do, and then he's the guy like Roman who doesn't win on his own anymore. He's the heel. He's the tribal chief. You know what I mean? And then Roman has to go up against them. That's, I don't know. Maybe that's something I would try, but it'd be a different wrinkle and a side of it we haven't seen before. And then Jay could feed off that hatred of the crowd saying that he wasn't good enough and worthy of this, and you could build. And granted, the wrestling part you probably still got to figure out if you're a criticism of Jay, or if you're a critic of Jay, for sure. But otherwise, I think it would work out perfectly. So we'll see what they end up doing. But I think they could be setting up that for sure. Mike said, by the way, am I the only one that thinks it's insane that Solo Sikoa still has not had a WrestleMania match? Yeah,
he will. Solo's still young though. Solo's still, I know he's in his probably early 30s, I think, but like he's still young in the world of wrestling. Like,
and he was at WrestleMania, just not in a match. Yeah.
Solo has grown a lot, even from the time he left NXT to when he first shows up on SmackDown, where he didn't talk for like the first 6 months he was there, but he really started to shine in that whole story with Sami Zayn in the bloodline, where he was the
enforcer, as it were.
When he was the the unofficial Uso,
and Sammy would try to get them all to crack, and Solo just had to and everything,
even though he broke him a couple times.
and it is some of the best storylines they've got right now. But I agree with Mike in this regard too. They need to be careful that they don't NWO the bloodline, meaning keeping it going until it's no longer unique or interesting to watch. That is true, and there's probably people out there already are like. Of course, we've had a bit of a break from the bloodline stuff, with Roman being gone, the Usos and Jay doing the world title run, and then Solo doing his own thing. So it might be okay to bring it back now. But yeah, you've got to be, maybe you could run it for the next year or so, maybe leading into Rock and Roman, which I think is the plan. If that is the case, it makes sense to do it, and then maybe you're done with it after next year's Mania. But yeah, I agree. It can be too much if you do it too long.
I think if they're going that route with it, then it won't be Solo joining Roman's side. I think The Rock would manipulate Solo enough to believe, he's already running the MFTs, that they can take on, Roman and the Usos. And then maybe you do bring in a Zilla to opposite Jacob, because I feel like Jacob would at this point join the side of Roman.
Jacob's another part of that. Jacob may be the one who has the grievance against Punk right now, because again, if you're doing McIntyre and Aldis, Jacob's on his own. You can come back to Drew after the Aldis match, maybe, because obviously the storyline of who attacked Jacob is still out there. But yeah, maybe you just do that for now and just to kind of play off that bloodline. So I don't know, but yeah, we'll see where it all ends up going. But speaking of the NWO, another news item came out today. Dennis Rodman, NBA star, is now going to join the WWE 2026 Hall of Fame induction class. Obviously, he's joining Demolition. He's joining Stephanie McMahon and AJ Styles in the Hall of Fame this year. Obviously, this is kind of one of those. It's like he didn't have a great long run with any. I mean, he was with WCW during the NWO thing.
Okay,
he did that. He did that tag match with Hollywood Hogan against Karl Malone and DDP in WCW.
Yes,
that was pretty much the extent of it, I think. But it's more than Drew Carey at this point. Let's put it that way.
But listening to that whole Reliving the War series, Dennis Rodman played a bigger part in WCW and the NWO than people give him credit for. I get it. It was a celebrity thing. At least he put in the effort to actually wrestle. It wasn't great, but Dennis Rodman was such a big and polarizing figure already that he was one of the biggest things that helped bring wrestling into mainstream and pop culture more than what it already was.
Yeah,
so
Karl Malone was also big at the time too. So
that's what
it was definitely a money match. Yeah,
but Dennis Rodman's demeanor on the court was no different from his demeanor at WCW, just turned up a bit. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Like the crazy colored hair, the way he spoke, the way he acted.
It was definitely wrestling.
How he acted on the fucking that's how he was on the basketball.
Brandon and Eric, did you guys ever watch Dennis Rodman play basketball? Ever?
A little bit.
Ever? Yeah. Okay. the Detroit team that he was on was what they would do is they would take your team, okay? They would grab you by the hair, they would pull you out into the back alley.
Is that the same team that had the Pacers fight in the crowd?
And they would beat the living crap out of you. And that's what they did. That is what they were designed to do.
Yeah.
They were designed to beat Jordan. That is what they were designed to do. They didn't succeed, but they that was what they were designed to. They had a rule where they would literally, when Jordan was driving, what they would do is they would push him down. They would literally physically push him down.
Yeah, well, basketball was different back in the day for sure.
But I'm saying Rodman has that physical demeanor.
For sure.
He did a lot for WCW and the NWO, and plus he was just entertaining. Rodman was an entertaining guy to watch in the ring. You know what I mean?
Right.
And on the microphone.
Matt's look there got me.
Well, my cat's meowed in the other room. It was like a violent howl meow. Yeah. So I was like, I didn't know what was going on.
They're having their own tag team match. And Mike mentioned in chat, he was actually involved also with the tag team match with Hogan against Lex Luger and the Giant at 97, and he wrestled Randy Savage at Road Wild 99. So he's done more matches than even I remember. I obviously just kind of go back to the Rodman Karl Malone thing. He also said, I only liked Rodman in basketball for 3 years, and that's when he wore a Bulls uniform. I figured as much.
That's when I started watching. I mean, I followed the Bulls. But when Rodman came to that squad, it was the Bulls were on a different level. Especially Rodman
is the only person.
A nightmare.
He's the only person that will go to the NBA Finals, win Game 1, then go to Las Vegas, gamble, and go to every strip club, and then play in the next Finals game the next day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and Mike,
they would let him do it.
I'm going to move on to the next thing, Mike, but I'm just got a question. I don't know if you know or not. Is Rodman going to be a part of the celebrity wing in the Hall of Fame or not? I don't know if that's been announced or not, or if it's just the standard. I'm not sure. It doesn't say here. So I don't know if it's said in the post or not. Let me see here. It's nope, just says Hall of Fame. It doesn't say anything about the celebrity wings. I was just kind of curious.
Your audio just went up again.
Again?
Yeah, so I don't know what you did, but it's okay.
I didn't.
Why
it sounds okay, so you're good. Keep going.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was having a little audio issues before the show started, so hopefully it's fine. If it's not, hopefully somebody in the chat will let me know too. But we'll move on there. The story we alluded to earlier. Apparently, Ted DiBiase Jr. has been found not guilty on all charges in a case related to the former WWE superstar's involvement in the Mississippi welfare fraud scandal. After 4 hours of deliberations today, the jury returned a not guilty verdict. DiBiase had been on trial on charges of 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and to commit theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, 6 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, and 4 counts of money laundering. So since he's been he had been found guilty of all charges. Had he been guilty of all charges, he would have faced up to 185 years in prison. So he got lucky here for sure. The son of the great $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, obviously.
That's a lot of charges for one person.
Well, and you got to remember here too, Mississippi is the same state where Brett Favre got busted for something very similar to this. And of course, he's not in jail, but I don't know what he ended up having to do or anything. But either way, found not guilty on all charges here. This was kind of a big deal for the DiBiase family and all that sort of stuff too. Obviously, the $1 million man. Obviously, they tried to get him over in WWE, and this kind of goes like to Mike's comment he put in earlier here. He said, I don't have it here. He said, that now that he's been acquitted, you think Ted DiBiase Jr. makes a shocking appearance and helps Randy Orton win? Because if those of you who remember, Ted DiBiase Jr. teamed with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton in that Legacy faction. So they were all part of the team together before obviously DiBiase was no longer with the company. And of course, all this stuff went down too. So, I think this has just happened. That's probably not going to be who he was talking to on the phone, Randy Orton, but never say never. They might.
That could be.
We don't know, but
it doesn't look like he's in like wrestling shape, but at the same time, he can still show up and do like a one-off appearance, maybe.
Yeah.
Take a crossroads or something. I mean, you can maybe do that. I don't know. But never say never. It is World Wrestling after all. But apparently everybody does indeed have a price for the $1 Million Man. So whatever it is here, he definitely is no longer facing jail time and all that sort of stuff. So good for him on that regard. And
that's nice because my dad liked the DiBiase's. So
it just sucks though, because if he went through like 7 years of smears and stuff like that too, and then he's found innocent now, you can't take back that sort of damage that's already been done to his reputation. It sucks.
No.
But
luckily, is everything.
The court of law did, I guess, I guess he had his day in court. So, hopefully that will all begin the healing process, as it were, for sure. But of course, you can also look at this meme and kind of go, everybody's got a price. Did somebody pay off the judge? I mean, you never know. But that's just speculation. I mean, it is the $1 Million Man. Everybody's got a price. That was his old gimmick. So, so I thought that was kind of cool to see, though. So some good news there on that front, I guess you could say. So, got anything other thoughts on WWE before we move on?
No, I mean, it was a good little week.
Yeah, not bad for WWE. No, we still got AEW to talk about, and they also had a good week too, in my opinion. So they just had their Revolution pay-per-view last Sunday night, actually, and we got some new champions over there in WWE, or AEW, I should say. We got the national champion is now Jungle Jack Perry. He defeated Ricochet, and I don't have it listed here, but Ricochet's been under the gun a little bit too.
Brother,
saying some
do you not know that whole story?
I know insane. I know what he said. Which now, to be fair, to play devil's advocate here, there was a fan online who had multiple sclerosis, I guess, commented and said that his acting hasn't improved, kind of dogging his character and all this stuff. Well, Ricochet, who I'm sure takes a lot of crap online all the time, said, I'm glad you have MS. I'm glad you have multiple sclerosis on X, which was definitely a no-no. But at the same time, let me play devil's advocate here. If he was in his heel character, if MJF would have said it, nobody would have had a problem with it. So there is a fine line between, going too far. Agreed. If he made that in reality, yes, you shouldn't have said it, no doubt. But if he's the heel character Ricochet, I get it. But
that wasn't in character. Even in his apology, he said he let these people get to him or whatever, and he said what he said.
Well, at least, but he did apologize on his own, and he took the tweet down on his own accord. He was not told to do so by AEW management, so that's good. I could see a suspension and a fine. I don't know if he
left it up. He also left it up way too long.
Yeah, he did.
If he'd immediately took it down after he said it, maybe I went too far. It wasn't until he caught shit that he
got the backlash. Yeah, a friend had to tell him, "Yo, maybe you got to take it down." From what I read.
I get, you know what I mean? I understand. Look, this goes for anybody on the internet. A lot of times it is people just hating for the sake of hating. It's what it is.
There's this feast.
I myself, I don't let people's opinions of me get to me. I could give a shit.
You're not bombarded nearly as much as these wrestlers are either, I'm sure.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah.
So it's on a different scale, but at the same time, live your life, man. Look, if they're gonna watch you, they're gonna watch you. If they're not gonna watch you, they're not gonna watch you. They're gonna talk shit to you because they feel obligated to do so because they got time.
Yeah.
And I still say that gets these remarks. He's not the only one that gets these comments. Sure. You just gotta handle them differently.
You got to roll off your shoulder, or don't look. Just get off the internet. Yeah. That's the best way too. But again, like I said, if MJF would have said this, even because people literally will pay MJF to insult them for their disabilities, for whatever it is, their weight, whatever, and he will do it like literally in character. Of course, if this was again not in character, as Brandon said, Ricochet mentioned in his apology, I get it more. But again, you just got to. The line has to be known to these athletes and these performers that they can't step over that line. So I understand it. But yeah, it's just we have to be careful with this,
Yeah, it's shitty. It's shitty.
Yeah. With a rebuttal though, I believe there was a match not too long ago, and I know Liv Morgan was in the middle of all this too, where a fan in one of the front rows some kind of slur
to Roxanne Perez.
And
probably
Olivia broke character and goes, that's not okay.
Right.
We're not gonna say that.
And the fan did apologize because I'm sure he didn't want to get, banned from ever attending the show again.
But here's the thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Think about what you do.
Yeah, everybody.
Before you do these things, all actions have consequences, and these people, a lot of people don't understand that wrestling is an entertainment thing. It's an entertainment. It's enjoyable for everyone, including the wrestlers.
And you can criticize all this stuff, but you don't need to say, "Well, you're acting." Granted,
don't say shit like that.
But even the person he insulted also wasn't in the right either. Criticizing, like, why don't you just enjoy? If you don't like the show, fine. But
if you don't like it, then keep your mouth shut,
or just change the channel. I mean, you can do that.
Watch some other program.
Like you know your career, right? Like, you know what you've done, you know your accolades. Somebody's opinion of you shouldn't matter to you. Like you if you're doing what you're doing and you're being rewarded for what you're doing, whether that's through self-adulation or through promotion, whatever it may be,
right?
You don't need somebody in the crowd saying, "Well, you suck." That can't be true.
Yeah,
because I'm part of the reason why you bought the ticket to be here, just so you can say that.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And then from the performer's perspective,
like at the end of the day, I got you. Yeah, at the end of the day, I got your money. Like I got paid.
And Mike makes a good point, and I'll get back to the other chats in just a second. He said, in today's world, you have to watch what you say online because anything and everything can be a career killer. This isn't the 80s or the 90s where almost anything goes. Yeah, because now the internet exists, and it's not necessarily for the better sometimes. And this is one of those instances where internet does not help in that regard. He also said in regards to the Rodman stuff, he said, the bad boys Pistons of the late 80s were bullies, and Jordan eventually beat them. Queen Douche wouldn't have survived them. Talking about LeBron James. They said, I'm assuming Rodman will be in the celebrity wing, much like William Perry and Pete Rose. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I just don't think they made that abundantly clear. They may have said it on SmackDown tonight. I'm not sure. But that's probably the best place for him in regards to the Hall of Fame. I do agree. Other tag team or other title changes on AEW. We've got new women's tag team champions. The Divine Dominion is what they're now calling Megan Bain and Lena Cross. Two powerhouses over there defeated the Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale, to win their first World Tag Team. And I think this is a good decision. Be interested to see who ends up stepping up to them, because it's going to be a dominant force to have to overcome for the women's tag team division. We've also got new trios champions. We got Mystico teaming up with Jet Speed as Jet Speed gets their 6-man tag team titles back with the exit of Hangman Adam Page. So Mystico teaming up with them. So that's kind of a fresh little team. We'll see how that goes. But on the sadder front, when it comes to AEW, well, maybe. We don't know, because Tony Storm, apparently, according to reports now, will be out of action for, quote, a long time due to an undisclosed injury or injuries. And that came from Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer. But Fightful Select is also now reporting that AEW expects Tony Storm not to be cleared to wrestle throughout the remainder of 2026 at a minimum. So that's from March to December. You do the math there, that's 9 months. Is she pregnant or is she hurt? We don't know. But to come out and say already the remainder of this year, that's exactly 9 months. So a lot of people are speculating right now. Did Juice Robinson get himself another baby here, or a baby? I don't know if they got kids yet or not, but they're married. Obviously he's been out with injury, and she's kind of been the breadwinner of the house for the longest time here. Maybe it's his turn. So now that he's back from injury with the Bang Bang Gang. So, but this has all obviously been done in storyline on television. They've now got a whodunit murder mystery thing here, where she was laid out in the back, blood coming from her back of her head, and with flowers laying by the side of her, a bloody high heel next to her, because obviously her gimmick is watch for the shoe. So there's a lot of people who could potentially be at fault for this. Number one on the list would be Marina Shafir after last night. However, she claimed on Dynamite that she was not involved with the attack. Who knows? Potentially, it could be the debuting member that we'll get to talk about in just a second.
Why is it with AEW it's always blood?
Well, they're a little more on the not quite so PG side. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
it's a choice, but wrestling. But here's the thing, Matt. Most wrestling companies are this way. WWE is the exception, not the rule for the most part. So most companies throughout history have done blood more than WWE. WWE's
done their fair share.
They have
literally a pay-per-view called Bad Blood
before they were publicly traded. Reason. Now they're doing a little bit more now, but Vince, when he took the company public, they decided basically to stop altogether. But it's kind of making its way back here and there. So it's not the fact that they don't do it now. But I gotta admit though, if she is legit hurt or pregnant or whatever it is, this is a clever way of doing it because now it's going to be a running storyline, and apparently there's already many storylines in place to further this. To again, it's like a whodunit crime scene. So we're going to get this mystery of who is going to be responsible, and the reveal should be hopefully a good one at the end of this whole thing. We'll have to wait and see how it goes, and I'll talk about another potential suspect here in this part here.
Is he supposed to be dead?
I don't know. It looked like it. I mean, you take a shot like that and, on concrete or whatever. But they did kill off characters. Didn't they kill off, I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Cody Rhodes or whoever, like back in New Japan or whatever. They killed off a character and they brought him back when they returned to the companies or whatever. I can't remember who it was. But that was a whole different thing. It wasn't AEW. But anywho, I don't know if it was Cody or if it was Adam Cole or what it was. But yeah. But anywho, we got plenty of returns and a debut. We got Will Ospreay finally come back from his double neck fusion surgery. We got Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, Edge and Christian, now coming back to go after the AEW Men's Tag Team Championships against FTR. Obviously, the storyline there being the fact that Adam Copeland's wife, Beth Copeland, was dropped on her neck to be a spike power bomb from the FTR. So they're already building up to that. We got Kenny Omega going for the #1 contendership, and we got the debuting Ronda Rousey, who we just talked about a couple weeks ago, who's going to be facing Gina Carano in May in an actual MMA fight. She's debuts in AEW, so that's leading people to speculate what she's going to be involved with. Obviously, she's real close
did not surprise me.
Well, she's real close friends with Marina Shafir, which leads to her possibly being the suspect to take out Toni Storm as well. And of course, there's another name that's a free agent right now, Shayna Baszler from WWE. All these women have a history together as part of the Four Horsewomen. So could they be getting Shayna Baszler involved? We'll have to wait and see. Don't know, but they've got something brewing here in the women's division, and especially if Ronda joins the Death Riders, as it looks like she is, they can run roughshod over the women's division as well, and these two may even challenge the Divine Dominion, as it were, for the women's championships. We'll have to wait and see. But interesting storylines going on there, and on the Cage and Cope front, they have now already been put in a AEW World Tag Team Championship match against FTR at the next pay-per-view in Vancouver on April 12th at AEW Dynasty. So interesting, they didn't really have to earn that one. They just kind of got the title shot, but that notwithstanding, it does make sense storyline-wise. I get it, but I would like maybe see them build to maybe earn it, especially since they went face-to-face with the Young Bucks. Maybe you could have done a match there for the #1 contendership. That could have been done a little bit better, possibly. But I guess since they've only got about a little less than a month to get to this, maybe they just wanted to get to it. So, thoughts on the debuts and returns at Revolution? Do you think this is something like I mentioned to Brandon on Sunday that they're at least doing things that some casual fans could get on board with here? So we'll see how that ends up playing out. What are your thoughts on what they did this week after the big pay-per-view?
I mean, I would have saved Will Ospreay for Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
I also even Ronda for Dynamite, honestly, because you don't really because Will didn't really do much. Sure, you could have pushed that whole thing that happened with him and Moxley on Dynamite, and it would have been just fine.
You could have, sure.
The same thing with Ronda.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to understand too. This building had 12,000 fans in it, so
I know.
You know what I mean?
Look,
I from business perspective, it makes sense.
I'm just saying from a perspective of impact-wise on the pay-per-view. And I told you, I listened and watched that pay-per-view Sunday as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you I enjoyed a lot of the stuff that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, I don't know, man. It was just with Cope and Christian coming back, that was huge. Especially in that match was fucking insane.
And that's going to lead to Copeland's retirement probably at the end of the year, too. I'm sure it's going to be a long storyline there. They're going to get the next title run for a while, and then who knows what. But, yeah.
The Omega one was crucial for what was about to happen to Brody Lee.
Yeah.
Brody King, sorry.
And that leads into Dynamite next week. We're getting the #1 contendership match. I guess Swerve is the #1 contender. I don't know if they explained why, but I didn't catch it. But apparently,
because he beat Brody King.
Okay, is that why? Well, I know Andrade's in the mix a little bit too, but I didn't know who was. I don't know how they're figuring it here. But anyway, he's the #1 contender. But Kenny challenged him to for the #1 contendership match. Swerve said, "Fine, but put your executive vice presidential role on the line." Swerve wants to be in power. That's what he's kind of going after right now. Some people may not like that, but at least it's an interesting step. So
not really, because we did it once before and it didn't mean anything either. I mean, they got broke, but
what does Kenny doesn't
Oh, well,
use it as a thing.
Yeah, he really doesn't. Yeah, the Bucks used
So
to,
like,
but not so much now, for sure.
It was fitting for the Bucks when they did it for that reason. But
it kind of goes back to the NWO thing. You don't want to overuse that trope. You know what I mean? Like, so I get where you're coming from. It could be interesting to see what Swerve would do with it, because it's not the same old EVPs, but
no. But it's unless he figures out a way to like nullify the fact that was a weird stipulation that Hangman had in his match.
Well, that's possible. That's interesting because I was about ready to ask, because obviously at Revolution we also got MJF retaining his AEW Men's World Championship match and an insane Texas Death Match, if you ask me. So much so they even had a syringe spot in there, which a lot of people are going to complain is too far. I get it, and I don't even know necessarily why you have to do that, but that's notwithstanding. But the match obviously ended when Hangman Adam Page pulled out a dog collar chain, and that was wrapped around both their necks, and actually MJF ended up hanging him out to dry, and he passes out, and MJF retains his championship here. And it was an interesting spot when he let go of Hangman Adam Page. His head actually rubbed up against the camera, and his blood smeared all over the camera, which made it even a better effect, to be quite honest with you.
It was an accidental thing that turned out to be a really good thing.
Right. But this obviously leads into the storyline now, because Hangman Page put up his opportunities to ever challenge for an AEW World Championship ever again in his entire life, not just with MJF as champion. So this is basically the Cody Rhodes step when Cody ended up leaving the company because he felt he couldn't go back on that step, and he's right. You shouldn't. However, Tony Khan was already kind of, leaving wiggle room a little bit in the post-show media scrum, saying this is a verbal contract between me and Hangman Page, much like it was with Cody at the time. So if Hangman Page turns heel, he could go back on the stipulation, or maybe like you said, if Swerve does it, and obviously their newfound respect, perhaps Swerve gives Hangman Page the ability to go back on that step. Now, the rumor and report now is Hangman is going to be taking time off for a while. So we'll see. It's going to be down the road, whatever it is. That makes some sense to maybe give it some time. But yeah, there are ways of doing it, but then it's a no-win situation. Either you go back on the step and your stipulations mean nothing moving forward, or Hangman Page can never challenge again. So you're kind of backed yourself into a corner a little bit. Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think?
If you were going to go that route with Swerve becoming the EVP or whatever, and reversing that, you could just have Omega do it.
Right.
Omega's in this running for the same title, and why wouldn't he want to stick it to MJF on the way while he can? And it would be a great story beat.
Yeah, or you could look at it from the other side of it, and Hangman Adam or Kenny would be like, going against the stip, so that would make Kenny look bad as the babyface. So you maybe could, but yeah, you could do that. We're sticking it to MJF too. Yeah. There's two ways to look at that, but so I don't know, but I don't know. It's a pickle for sure. I think for now they're just going to let it lie until they can maybe figure out what to do with it down the line. But I would hope you at least have some plan in the back of your mind of how to approach it when you pulled the trigger, if you wanted to go back. So if you didn't, but even so, whatever it is, again, you're going to be going back on it. So we'll see.
But again, as far as the EVP ship goes, being up for grabs in that between Swerve and Omega, I don't understand the point of Swerve becoming an EVP. Like, he's already a number one contender for the heavyweight title. What else is he going to get?
It's a good point. And I was even having this conversation with my sister when we were watching the show together too, that MJF in particular too. Obviously he re-signed with AEW, and I don't know how long his deal's for, but he's probably got another few years on him still. But there's going to come a point with MJF where he's so young now. Him staying in AEW eventually isn't going to make much sense, because he's going to do everything he could possibly do with that company. So eventually him going to AEW or WWE, in my opinion, is an inevitability. However, what WWE does with him there, obviously you can only do so many things with MJF in the scope of keeping it locked down to where he doesn't go too far with some of his promos and stuff. So you got to be careful with that. Right now he's got a little more freedom in AEW, but I think eventually that it will be where he ends up, because eventually, I mean, what is he, a two-time AEW champion now? You win it a few more times, sure, but after that, what's MJF got left to do? And you can say that about some of these other guys too. And there's going to be people in WWE who can only do so much there. They may want to have a different shot here. It goes both ways. But I was just thinking about that when Hangman wasn't able to challenge again. Maybe what the future is for him. So yeah, it's interesting to see how it plays out. But any other thoughts?
I other than that, like, to me, that's the only thing I don't like about this match. I mean, the guys in it. I mean.
Right.
But again, I can say that about a lot of the guys in AEW.
sure, their matches are going to be great. I just want a little more meat behind what's going on. And sometimes some of the stipulations just don't make sense in that context of why it's there.
Yeah, I see your point. So we'll see what they end up doing, but I at least like the setup. It's all about the follow through. We've talked about that many times too. So I like what they did. Let's see where they end up going with it for sure. Mike said, I look forward to the eventual introduction of the AEW World Backyard Wrestling Championship. Yeah. Title to be defended in the ring in a random lucky fan's backyard. Brandon's got a good backyard for sure.
Hey,
I don't know about Matt, but I don't have a backyard. So
I have a decent backyard.
All right. So party over y'all's house. And he also said, Ronda Rousey, who cares? And a lot of people kind of felt the same way. It'd be interesting to see how AEW fans react to her, considering she has put down the business in the past, namely WWE.
In the past,
well, currently
it was recently.
Yeah, well, recent, but either way. And some of that may be on WWE itself, but at the same time, they were booing her a little bit when she did come out too. Now she's playing a heel role, but I think a lot of this is probably to sell their fight with Gina, though, to be quite honest. And we'll see if they get Gina. But Mike's not a big fan of the move with Ronda. But yeah, fair enough. Mike said Hangman declares Adam Page is dead. Long live Page Adams. I mean, never know. I mean, sure. I mean, you can do it. That give him a mustache.
Give him a different gimmick. He's not the cowboy no more.
Dye his hair black or whatever it was. I don't know what you can do with it.
It worked for JBL. It worked for JBL.
For sure it did. And maybe it's HAP. HAP, Hangman Adam Page. That's terrible. Instead of JBL. No, anyway, that's terrible. Be like Happy Corbin. He's Happy Page or something.
Yeah. Hey, Happy Corbin was good. That was a cool little gimmick.
Broke Corbin sucked, but anyway, Happy Corbin was a little more entertaining. But anyway, so yeah. All right, so let's keep the show moving here. We got some movie stuff to get into. So let's get into that, shall we? Let's go. Here we go. Got to pick it up a little bit here. Otherwise, Miranda will come on. She'll be like, why are you still talking about movies? But anyway, so let's get into that here. We got a few movie news items, but obviously the breaking news story that happened today, a sad one, the passing of a legend. Chuck Norris passed away at the age of 86, just turned 86 like a week or so ago. Obviously this is kind of, he always kept himself in great shape. Always athletic, always fit, but it just goes to show no matter how fit you are, everybody's got a time when it's when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. But you know what? If I could live to be 86 years old, I think I'd be a happy camper for sure. And
he was into at 86. He was doing at 86.
Just posted a video the other day of him boxing and or like MMA boxing or whatever with a buddy of his out in Hawaii or whatever it was. But he had obviously a very sudden passing. He was hospitalized on Thursday in Hawaii, and of course the family let everybody know. We still don't know the details of what happened. But I mean, 86. Just old age mostly, natural causes, I'm sure. So obviously he's been well known for many different roles throughout his long-standing career here since the 80s and probably even before that, even like the 70s and stuff. So obviously with Missing in Action, Delta Force. One of my favorites growing up was Force Vengeance. I don't know if anybody really remembers that movie, but I was like fighting in that movie. Obviously Walker Texas Ranger, The Expendables 2 especially, where he delivered what I think is the best Chuck Norris joke of all time. Obviously, they had the Chuckisms that was always out there. They said, he's like, I heard you got bit by a king cobra. He's like, yeah, I did. But after 5 days of agonizing pain, the cobra died. So, I always love the Chuckisms. There's obviously plenty that were been going around the internet today. So, yeah.
My first introduction to Chuck Norris was The Way of the Dragon because I was a huge Bruce Lee kid.
Bruce Lee
was awesome
in that movie. And there was an interview that Chuck did a while back. He was talking about that movie. He said he really got kicked. Bruce Lee really kicked him in the face because Chuck said it was too quick for him to see. And the second interaction I had that involved Chuck Norris, which is crazy, is in the World of Warcraft. There is a certain area certain area that you go in called the Barrens. And the Barrens chat is always just wild. It's just a public chat where people just type in all kind of shit. And then a lot of it, 90% of it was Chuckisms. That's all they were. That's all they were. I do believe there is a character in Warcraft named after Chuck Norris.
Nice.
So I'm assuming we'll see him soon in the World of Warcraft at some point because of
as long as he gets permission from the family and all that stuff nowadays.
Yeah,
you know,
like he did a commercial spot for them. I mean, so did Ozzy, so did Mr. T. Like there was a lot of William Shatner actually too. Honestly,
I own a Total Gym, by the way. Which he was also known for. Great workout, by the way. If you ever I highly recommend Total Gyms. So
the only thing I think I really, really, truly know Chuck Norris of is in between stage was Walker Texas Ranger, because my stepdad was a huge Walker Texas Ranger fan. Well, he's a huge Chuck Norris guy too. Right. He's a huge action 80s guy, and Chuck was all of that. So like when Walker Texas Ranger, I remember watching that, and somebody played the theme song today, and like I remember sitting in the living room.
Brought back memories.
Yeah,
I saw it too.
I mean Tibbs, or was it Cordell
Walker?
Yeah,
right?
Cordell Walker. Man, oh
yeah. That's right.
I wanted to be a Texas Ranger.
Yeah, and that was a very good show. I mean, a lot of people loved it too, and very faith-based a lot too, obviously, because Chuck Norris was a big man of faith for sure. After he met his wife,
Dodge Ram, he put that Dodge on the map. Boy,
the roundhouse kick, the Dodge Ram. Oh yeah, Twister was another reason that Dodge Ram really got put on the map too. But yeah, that back in those days for sure. But a lot of great movie roles, a lot of great memories. And he will definitely be missed. And obviously he's had memes and jokes, and I don't know, man. It's just it makes me want to go back and watch all the catalog of his movies.
The fact that Chuck Norris, they were through generations, like they, you know what I mean? Like they've always been and they're always good too. There's some, like I seen some today where I told Miranda about the one I seen that said Chuck didn't die. He finally accepted God's invitation to train Jesus for Armageddon. I fucking lost it.
I didn't catch that last part. That's cool. I like that.
I lost it.
Well, like Mike said, God needed a Texas Ranger, so he got himself the baddest one. So yeah. And then he also said, "I'm honestly surprised WWE didn't put him in their Hall of Fame." Yeah, because he made that appearance at one of the wrestling where he was like an enforcer or something like that for Yokozuna or something like that. I can't remember who it was for, but yeah, so big appearances there, and I think he was in the crowd a lot too. Just went some of the shows. I know he was at a show with Donald Trump at one point too, because they were like each other on the camera. So that was pretty cool as well. So yeah, I mean, and of course, with all the great memories that come out this week, had to be the one bad egg in the room. Variety, one of their wrote an article. Chuck Norris is a great action star, but his politics may overshadow his legacy. This community note was not confirmed yet, but I guess it was like up for voting or whatnot. That said, Chuck Norris killed his shadow while shadow boxing. That's why you never see his shadow when he comes up behind you. Chuck Norris can never be overshadowed. So that needs to be approved immediately. So and also whoever wrote this article, go after yourself, dude. Seriously. Just because that is the politics, let him alone. Leave him alone. Not even cold yet.
One.
So yeah, whoever wrote this,
that's gonna be one of my favorites.
I hope it's accepted, because it absolutely needs to be for sure. But yeah, so the negativity obviously is going to be out there in the world of politics, which is disgusting in my opinion, especially coming from one side. The other side, I'm not saying both sides are perfect on the matter, but only one side truly, for the majority of them, celebrate the death of one on the other, and it's disgusting if you ask me. I don't care what side you're on. But yeah, so it's a shame to see here. However, like I said, he was a big man of faith, obviously, and of course he's been quoted the same many times. One of his favorite quotes is Jesus died in order that we may live. So yeah, so based on that, in my personal opinion of my belief system, Chuck Norris did not meet death. Death today met Chuck Norris, and this is what happened in my opinion. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So rest in peace to the legend that is Chuck Norris, no doubt about that. So definitely sad news, no doubt. So yeah.
You know what's awesome about Chuck Norris is, there are people out there in this world that are like Chuck, and people, some people feel sad, some people feel sorrow. He's one of the people that you don't feel sorrow, you don't feel sad. You rejoice. You remember.
Yeah, he actually said on his 86th birthday, he put out a video like on the 10th which was his birthday, he said, "I don't get older, I level up." I believe that's exactly what happened today. He leveled up, and now he is with the King of Kings and his Lord and Savior. So I fully believe that, and I expect to hopefully see him one. I'd love to talk to him about some roundhouse kicks in the world of heaven. So yeah, that'd be great.
Brother.
Wait to see, but yeah.
Chuck was I didn't, and nobody really knows how he got there. Like what? Like what started the Chuckisms? Like what made?
I don't know. They've been going around for a lot of years now.
Yeah.
I mean, and even probably not even until he got older in life, but yeah, they've been around for a hot minute. And I know he's been on shows and he's talked like they've done like top 10s of his favorites and stuff and all that. So yeah,
there's some good ones.
There are like he doesn't do push-ups, he pushes the world down, that sort of thing. So yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Under Chuck Norris's beard is a fist.
Yeah, that was a Family Guy reference actually too, if I'm not mistaken, was in that show. But Mike said in Survivor Series 1994, he was the enforcer for Undertaker versus Yokozuna, where he thrust kicked Jeff Jarrett during the fight, during the match. So yeah, I do remember that now. So yeah, definitely rest in peace, no doubt, and you will be missed, good sir, no doubt. And you might see him one more time before the show is out here, just a little tease. But anyhow, but let's get into some more lighter topics in the world of movie news. Here we got a couple, like 3 trailers, so we got to keep this moving here. We got a trailer for probably the last trailer, I assume, since it comes out at the well, it's not till. Well, yeah, it's about April 6th, so it's only a couple weeks from now, so it's probably the last one. But the trailer for Maul, Shadow Lord, the next upcoming Star Wars animated series here. So let's check it out real quick, and we'll talk about it. Here we go.
Check this out.
Our target is a syndicate leader. He is associated with several criminal organizations. And proficient
Creepy.
with a laser sword.
Hell yeah. Oh, the chants are good. Oh, it's
the
dope.
Empire tried to kill me. Their betrayal demands consequence. And that consequence requires a weapon.
Apprentice time.
Together, we can destroy the Empire.
He wants to fight as allies.
The Empire may be our common enemy, but Maul will never be our ally.
We need to find him, whatever it takes.
This is escalating out of our hands. The Empire will want answers.
The Empire will lock this planet down.
It's gonna get dark, dude.
Jedi, where is Maul? I'm right here. Let us have our revenge.
We're not going to take out the whole Empire.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. That's getting dark and it looks good, dude. What do you think?
So
Okay. Go ahead, Brandon.
So 2 things. One, that
sorry.
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
The
I've
animation
always liked the Zabrak, I think it's what they are. Species. So much so that in that Star Wars game that we were playing.
You talking about Darth Maul species? I can't remember.
Yeah. I think there's Zabrak, I want to say.
There's the rack. You're correct.
In that Star Wars game that we play, Star Wars: The Old Republic, I have a Sith Inquisitor because they're the only ones who could have the dual-bladed sabers. I have a Sith Inquisitor who's an assassin, nonetheless, like who looks like Maul. I made him look like Darth Maul, and I played him very ruthlessly in that series. And like you do get an apprentice in that game as well.
And I believe he was even supposed to have like an apprentice in what would have been George Lucas's sequel trilogy too. Maul was supposed to be the main antagonist, I believe, but that was not to be the case. But
real quick, is this going to be a show or a whole movie?
This is a animated television series. Actually, the release schedule is as follows. So there you go for all. It's a 10-episode season. But it takes place after the Clone Wars, after Episode 3, at the beginning of the Empire, essentially like after the Bad Batch in the chronological animated series order, and before Rebels. So this is going to show his time after Palpatine failed to eliminate his former apprentice, and now it looks as if Maul may be going to war with the Empire to get revenge on Palpatine. And I don't know if he's going to if he comes across Vader, he'd be killed. However, in Rebels, it looks like he is kind of like hiding at this old like Sith temple, maybe trying to stay away from Vader at that point. So maybe he does run into him at some point. We obviously know the eventual end of Darth Maul at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine in Rebels. Spoiler alert for those of you who've not seen that, but it was obviously well done. But this is going to kind of fill in that gap between his return in the Clone Wars animated series after getting cut in half in Episode 1 and through all that entire time leading up to Rebels and his final demise. But it's obviously he doesn't know that Obi-Wan survived Clone Wars at this point, and the episode Order 66, I should say. So this is a whole. This will probably tie into his dealings with the underground and the crime syndicates and stuff that you got hinted at in Solo, a Star Wars story, that film as well, where he made a brief appearance there. So hopefully we'll get all that filled in here to kind of fully flesh out the remainder of Maul's storyline here. So that's kind of where it looks like. But April 6th, we're getting 2 episodes a week until Star Wars Day, May 4th. So
are you with me when I say this, where I'm a Star Wars fan and so are you?
Absolutely, I am. And it looks like they're on the uptick too, which is good.
And that's what I was about to say. It seems like Disney has kind of, I'm not going to say they figured it out.
Not well, a little early yet for that, but I'm
not going to say they figured it out, but they've certainly are trending in that direction.
Well, here's the thing. Some people I know don't like animation. I know Digger's kind of one of those guys who don't necessarily follow some of the animated stuff.
The animated stuff has been their best stuff.
Outside of Star Wars Resistance, which took place around Episode 7, it wasn't that great. But everything else, Star Wars animated-wise, and it's all canon, by the way, for those of you who want to dive deeper. You don't have to. The movies will suffice. But if you want to dive deeper, the Star Wars animated stuff is some of the best Star Wars storytelling. And they've really not had any flops outside that one Resistance show. So it's a little too early to tell, see if Lucasfilm is going to turn the corner. But it's a good story.
This will not be a flop. I've seen enough in that trailer alone to make me want to watch the series.
It's going to be dark. I mean, you're looking at a dark side user basically going up probably against the Empire here, because there's no Jedi to keep them in check now. They're all gone outside of the ones who are in hiding at this point. So who's there to oppose him outside of Vader and Palpatine, really?
But I like you're seeing the aspect of this because you know, when you think of the crime syndicates of Star Wars, you think of the Hutts. Yep. That's the first ones who come to tuition. There are more crime syndicates than the Hutts. I hate to break it to you people.
Yeah, watch Clone Wars.
There's quite a few. And Darth Maul is right in the center of all the crap.
Hell, right before this, he took over Mandalore at the end of the Clone Wars series.
And made it look easy doing it. So
it had to be liberated. Kind of further stuff after the Mandalorian stuff it was alluded to in the Mandalorian and all that sort of stuff too. But
watching the Pike Syndicate, which I know that's what they are, the Pike Syndicate going against Darth Maul in that series, it makes me feel very bad for the Pikes, because there are a lot of Pikes that are going to die.
Well, probably a lot of people. A lot of stormtroopers are about to meet their demise. They're the Red Troopers of the Star Wars universe.
To kind of lean into what you're saying about Mike not liking the animated stuff, especially with a franchise like Star Wars, which obviously going to be heavy on CGI anyway. An animated series would go over better simply because you can do everything you can't do in a live action sense.
Right. And they have too.
Yeah, but also pack that's hard-hitting story behind it. And it allows you and it gives you the freedom, especially with a character like Maul or the dark side in general, to do things you could not put on in a live action sense on screen. Like I get in Star Wars, a lot of death you've seen is dumb droids die, and so it's not really people. But in this aspect of like, you can have that element happen in animation more so than you could in live action in this setting. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Powers and
that actually that point actually ties in well with a couple stories we got coming up in the rapid fire segment too. It just feels like animation is the way to go a lot of times because CGI is so expensive right now, and you know, so animation just seems a lot better. And of course, animation is one of the great storytelling formats for years now. I mean, look at the anime side of things; they've been uber popular. I'm not a big fan of it myself personally, but a lot of the things that Star Wars draws from is that old anime style and classic, things like that. So it's like old Shirakawa, type stuff. So like it's all there and it fits well in the Star Wars franchise, like you said. So,
yeah.
Any other thoughts? Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Does look good though.
Yeah, it looks absolutely great. And a Mandalorian's a hit. Yeah.
But this is my excitement for Green Lantern too. Like this.
Oh yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that I'm looking forward to. Like and it's kind of the reason why I want to see Spider-Man Noir, because I want a more grittier side of like I miss that part of television, like and movies, but like and more so in television episodical shows. It was just I grew up in Murder She Wrote, Matlock, shit like that, like those real kind of real
dramas.
You know what I mean?
This is more fantastical, a little more. And contrary to popular belief, animation is not just for kids. This is going to dive into some deep. Some of the Star Wars stuff that they brought out so far with Clone Wars, yes, there's some kiddie episodes with Jar Jar or whatnot. They're few and far between though. There may be some of the R2D2 stuff, but for the most part, it dives into some of the deep Force lore, especially for Star Wars fans in particular, and some of the deeper sides of war and what it means for brothership when it comes to the clones. And there was all sorts of different things that the heavy themes that those shows really dove into that the movies did not have time to. So I definitely recommend all the animated stuff for sure if you're a Star Wars fan. Definitely great, and it's some of the best stuff they've produced in the last decade for sure. The animated side of things. Who would have thought that after the Clone Wars animated movie did not get great reviews when it first came out? The animation has come a long way over there at Lucasfilm since 2008. So, and of course, if this hits, then Mandalorian Grogu and Ahsoka season 2, as well as next year's Starfighter, like Matt said, they'll be on the right track to get things turned around over there. And if they can get like episode 10, 11, and 12, and if it actually ends up getting higher, quality after 7, 8, 9, they're off to the races. So maybe we can do that and maybe get some other stuff that we've been wanting to see and not got yet. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. All right, we got a couple more trailers, so let's dive into those. The next one here is for the upcoming movie that's going to be coming out the exact same day as Avengers Doomsday in December. We've got our first look at Dune Part 3. I don't know how much of you guys are into it. I did like the first two films. For me, the second film made the first film better in retrospect. So I'm hoping this third film as a trilogy will complete this storyline and make it great. So let's check out this trailer and we'll talk about it. Here we go.
If we have a girl.
Tatooine. No, sorry.
Her name should be Ganima. She would need to be strong, like her mother.
Zendaya, boy, she's in everything this year.
Hey, she's getting her time to shine.
Yeah.
What if it's a boy?
I would name him Leto.
I need to go back and watch these first two movies.
I've never seen any of these.
He would have the wisdom of his grandfather.
There's only two right now. Well, unless you count the original back in like the 80s.
Yeah, like I've never seen those ones either.
Those don't that original don't tie into these two though. Well, it's a remake. These two are. Oh wow.
The more I fight, the more our enemies fight back. I'm doing the best I can to protect my family.
Green.
How did Father do it?
Your father never started a war.
Jason Momoa.
to die. But I must not die. Yet.
I mean, look at that cast: Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Jason Momoa, Florence Pugh, who plays Yelena Belova in the MCU, Anya Taylor-Joy, Robert Pattinson, the Batman, Javier Bardem. Yeah, big this Christmas for sure, and of course directed by Denis Villeneuve. So yeah, I mean, like it. I honestly, to be quite honest with you, it's been so long since I've seen the first two. I don't remember a great deal because it's hard to commit it to memory because the best thing I can reckon it to. And this is kind of a poor comparison, but did you ever see the Chronicles of Riddick or any of the Riddick stuff with Vin Diesel? It has its own lore, like completely. It's a sci-fi epic, and obviously it deals a lot with like spice trading and factions and family, like and royalty, bloodline, and stuff like that. So it's very deep when it comes to the mythology of this film and this trilogy. So it's hard for me to remember all the details. But yeah, obviously everybody knows about the sandworms and stuff like that. People have seen pictures of that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I go back and remember, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember it. But off the top of my head, it's been so long, it's just hard for me to remember all those intricacies.
I would have to watch the other two because this is from my perspective. I've never seen a Dune movie, so like. This looks good, but at the same time, I have no context.
Yeah, you have no idea what's going on. Happening. Yeah, and Batista's in one of them as well. I think maybe even first one for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's got a great cast, and and the movies are well done. It's obviously, like I said, it's based on, there was an original movie, like I think back in the 80s or late 70s or something like that. So this is a trilogy based on that film. And I can't remember if there's novels or anything like that to it as well. I think there probably are.
Yes, I know there's novels attached to it.
So yeah, I mean, it's going to be good across the board. Like I said, the first one, I will say these movies are long. They're around 3 hours, I think, but it's one of those type of deals. Like again, an epic. But the first movie left a little bit to be desired for me, mostly because I didn't understand a lot of what they were talking about. Like they got like their own languages and different like deities and all sorts of different things in this. Like I said, own lore type stuff. But once you start to pick up on all that, especially by the time the second one rolled around, I was understanding more of it. It made more sense to me. I do remember that when I watched the second one, but I've only seen the second one once. So by the time this third one comes around, I'm going to have to go do a rewatch the first two to fully watch the third one in context and take it all together as a whole. So that's just kind of where I am, but it's a little hard to understand for newbies, especially. I can fully admit to that. So if you haven't ever seen one, I definitely recommend checking it out. But maybe that's just me having that issue too. Maybe not everybody struggles with it as much as I did, but yeah, if you can get through, I got to feel Miranda would never get through this, but that's just me.
There's no shot.
No shot. But I highly recommend you check it out because it's one of the best trilogies. Hopefully, if they nail the landing for sure on this finale out there that they've been doing in recent memory. So yeah. But as I stated earlier, one thing I do know more about, which we're about to get into, Avengers: Doomsday is scheduled to currently release the same day, December 18th this year, and Disney has reiterated they do not plan to move Doomsday in regards to Dune Part 3. So both those movies are most likely going to open on the same day this Christmas. The good thing about that is it's probably not going to like cannibalize either's box office. Well, it's Christmas, so there'll be plenty of time to go visit both of these movies with your families. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. But it's kind of like next year when Secret Wars comes out. They're going up head to head with Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum. So that'll be the same day too, unless one of them move. So again, it's not going to really hurt. I think I'm more excited about Lord of the Rings than I am this one with Dune, but yeah, definitely excited for the MCU stuff. So yeah, you got any thoughts on Dune, Matt, or have you watched any of those, or you care?
Well,
yeah,
flop.
Shut up. It ain't gonna flop. It's gonna do well. It's got a lot of fans, dude. Especially if you're a sci-fi lover, it's definitely something.
It is, and by the way, I like Riddick, and it is actually a really good franchise. And
I just want to see him do the fourth one. He hasn't done it yet.
if you like movies with lore in it, you'll like that kind of movie. So.
I don't know what it is about Vin Diesel too. It always seems like it takes him years to do a follow-up to one of his films, like Fast and Furious or Riddick has been easily a decade.
Eric, it may be around his life schedule. I mean,
yeah, he's clearly enjoying life more than he is making movies sometimes.
And that's fine.
That's fine.
Some actors don't make 1,000 movies like Scarlett Johansson does, but
And everybody slows down eventually, you know. You make your money, you want to enjoy it. I totally get it. I do. You come back when you need that cash grab, you know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. All right. Well, let's get into the big movie trailer. All three are big, obviously, but this is probably the biggest. Do you want to say it?
I'm letting you guys do your opinions first, and then I'll tell you mine.
All right. Well, let's take a look at it, even though we've all probably seen this at this point, and I know you all probably have too. But let's take a look at it one more time, and we'll give our thoughts on it. So here we go. Here's Spider-Man: Brand New Day.
I can't believe our first hit MIT. MJ, come on, pretend like you're not the happiest you've ever been in your entire life.
I can't.
I knew it.
Maybe Mrs. Tom Holland. There's rumors out there that they got married. I do like that shot.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but we used to know each other. Something bad was going to happen, and the only way to stop it was to make everyone forget about me. Because I'm not just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man.
What the hell, Frank? You just hit me with a van!
Quit your whimpering. Suit yourself.
Go home!
Love the dynamic.
Sometimes Spider-Man has to do the hard thing, even if it breaks Peter Parker's heart. What is happening to me?
Uh-oh. I like how it's the inverse Spider-Man.
Excuse me, Dr. Banner. I need your help.
What did you say your name was? If DNA is mutating, it would be
There's that word again.
Dangerous.
Spiders have 3 life cycles. When between cycles, it can leave the spider vulnerable to threats.
We are faced with a danger that we can't control. One we can't even see. Stay out of my way.
Scorpion!
You're losing it, kid. And for those spiders who make it through, it amounts to a
plug on a windshield. Gotta love good ninjas.
Rebirth.
Nice flowers.
Oh, they're a housewarming gift.
I'm MJ.
I'm just a neighbor from across the hall.
Friendly neighbor.
So July 31st, at the end of the month, we'll have the next MCU outing here with Spider-Man: Brand New Day. So my initial thoughts, I love this trailer. It looks a little more gritty than the Holmes trilogy that they did, Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home. Not quite as bright when it comes to the color grading, but perfectly fine with that. It fits the tone a little bit more, I think, with that regard. Obviously, with Peter Parker, going through this, rough period where he don't have any friends anymore because all their memories got wiped. So definitely looking forward to that. Loving all the villains and stuff that we're getting in here. More on that in just a second. But yeah, I think this looks great. I think it's going. The rumors are saying it probably takes place maybe at the same time as Avengers Doomsday, which may explain why Spider-Man has not been cast in that movie just yet. Or it could, maybe it's just being kept under wraps based on what happens in this movie or something. We'll have to wait and see. But if that's the case, it makes sense. So maybe he'll show up in Secret Wars next year. But yeah, so initial thoughts on this. Brandon, why don't you go first and we'll get Matt's opinion because he's got a lot. So
Jackson asked me today, asked me and Miranda today. I want to say it was today. It might have been last night. Anyway, I think it was last night. It was after the trailer came out. And I was getting ready to go to work, so I didn't watch it till I was at work. But anyway.
Right.
He goes, "Are we going to go see Spider-Man when it comes out?" Like, that's the first words out of his mouth.
He loves Miles Morales, especially, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go, "Which one?" And he goes, "Both of them." I said, "Well, yeah, when they come out, we'll go see them." Now he goes,
the other one's next year. Yeah.
He's like, I mean, like night one he wants to go. And I'm like, we'll see.
You let me know, we'll go. Oh, well. It's got to get tickets early.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll talk about that after this.
There you go.
So I want to see this movie. There was nothing that wasn't going to make me not want to see this movie. The trailer just reinforced the fact that I'm going to see this movie.
It's also the same director who did Shang-Chi, if you've seen that too. So there you go. Different director this time.
The
But
lineup for this movie, I'm here for it. Frank Castle's in this movie.
Which I'll go to here. Be quiet.
Why not? You know what I mean?
Like exactly. Frank Castle. Yeah, the Punisher. Yeah. Which is hard to believe, by the way. And I know a lot of people probably have not gone back to watch the old Daredevil Netflix show or the Punisher series, but Frank Castle, John Bernthal's interpretation of it has now been in the MCU for 10 years because they retroactively put the Netflix series into the MCU because it fits in that world. And now, of course, you're seeing Punisher and Daredevil Born Again, as well as now Spider-Man Brand New Day. And supposedly there's a rumor out there, at least, that Punisher is going to get his own one-off special presentation on Disney Plus at some point, potentially before this movie even comes out. So we'll have to wait and see, or maybe it'll be after that. We'll have to find out later. But yeah, so definitely love to see the Punisher involved in this with the Hulk as well. It seems it's that recurring theme that they're doing right now. Spider-Man Homecoming had Tony Stark in it. Then, Far From Home had Nick Fury. And then, of course, No Way Home, we had Doctor Strange. Some of those MCU characters mixed with the Sony Spider-Man world makes a lot of sense because, with the Punisher now and Hulk, it's just kind of carrying on that trope. And it's worked so far, so why change what's not broken,
And it kind of fits if you think about it in the lore-wise of how Spider-Man came to Marvel. Before, he was still a Sony asset, but he was being borrowed by Marvel for Civil War. This kind of fits. If nobody remembers it but him, it's his way. Now he can be reintroduced these characters in whatever capacity they're in now in this universe that he has now entered. It's
well. Now let's remember too, though. Let's remember the spell only wiped away everybody's knowledge of Peter Parker being Spider-Man or Peter Parker. They still know who Spider-Man is. They just don't know the identity.
Oh, yeah,
so
okay.
The Avengers and everybody would still know of him. So there is that. But yeah, but you're right. It does make sense because now he can pick and choose who he wants to know who he is, unlike just the world finding out at the end of Far From Home. So yeah, it kind of opens up. I got another theory on the memory part in just a second. But if Matt's ready, I wonder if he is ready to give his opinion on this. Okay. Well, if not, I can move on, but come back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So my opinion of that trailer was absolutely excellent. I think Marvel is definitely a hot commodity right now.
Well, they're again on the uptick. They've been some rough stuff.
I will say this film looks more of like Peter Parker going into adulthood. I think that I've noticed a common trend, Eric, and I know you and Eric, you and Brandon touched on it a little bit. Have you noticed that in every Spider-Man movie, an Avenger is made an appearance or is making an appearance?
Yeah, of
course.
Have
you noticed that?
By design,
Yeah, that's completely by design. I love the villain series that they've gone with for Tom Holland. I love the fact that they use Vulture. I love the fact that they use Mysterio. Because you know what Eric, they're doing is they brought Octavius back. They brought Green Goblin back. They were able to fit all the villains into Tom Holland's universe
and made it make sense too.
And make it make sense. So I think that's a home run for Spider-Man. And let me tell you, this movie here does not make me not want to see the movie at all. I mean, it makes me want to see more. It makes me want to see organic webbing. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean that's what the fans have wanted, and you're going to give it to them.
Which leads into the mutation side of this, which we're going to get to.
That's what I was about to say, is the mutation side of it. Scorpion coming into it, which I knew Scorpion was coming soon because J. Jonah Jameson was in the very end of the last movie or the previous movie.
Yeah, he was in the last couple.
Remember, he was in the last couple movies. J. Jonah Jameson is a direct tie to Scorpion. He always has been in the comics.
To your point, it falls through from the promise at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming 9 years ago. Now he's actually going. Now here's the thing. I don't know how much Scorpion and some of these villains we've seen so far are actually going to be in this movie. Scorpion could be like in a montage. I think it's going to be a little bit more for Scorpion, but just for perspective here, we've got all these other different shots from the trailer. Obviously, this is the shot from the Spider-Man's first appearance in comics from the first cover. So they're definitely paying homage to the comic books here. Tarantula is another one of his villains at the top here that he's fighting on the cover of another album or another comic as well. We got Boomerang at the bottom here against Spider-Man as well. And we got even more other comic homages. Him and the webbing was also from the comics. Him facing the hand and the ninjas also from the comics. So
the hand looks awesome. So I cannot wait to see the hand.
The villain stuff, I wonder if it could be some sort of quick montage, maybe at the beginning of the movie, saying, here's what he's been doing over the last 4 years. Because it does take place 4 years after No Way Home. So MJ and Ned are probably about ready to graduate college at this point. We skipped their entire. We're going to get the back to them eventually here, but yeah. And then of course we got Scorpion, and then the eyes changing color was also kind of an homage. At one point in the comics, he turned into like a man spider, a legit like mutant. Yeah. So I don't know if we're going to go that completely wacky with it or not, but we're definitely going to get the webbing and stuff that they alluded to in No Way Home that he doesn't have. He's going to get the organic webbing. So yeah, it's all kind of tying together. So
yeah, I don't know about all that yet. I am just forewarning fans. If you are expecting to see Scorpion all throughout this movie, you will be disappointed, because I am betting Scorpion shows up in the last 30 seconds of this movie, the last 15, 20 minutes of this movie.
No, because that's the finale part.
It'll be like a mano-a-mano type battle between Tom Holland. And let me tell you something. You know what it kind of reminds me of a lot of, Eric? It reminds me a lot of Tobey Maguire's second movie.
Okay.
And Andrew Garfield's second movie.
Well, especially when it comes to, like I started to say during the trailer there, the spot there where he's tied up in the webbing and like his own cocoon, as it were, evolving a little bit here, mutating, I guess you could say. Now there may be some fans. I for one, I don't know if I'm going to be very happy if they make him a mutant as like an X-Men thing, but he got bit by a spider. I don't think he may not have the mutant X gene, so I don't think you go that far. But like to Matt's point, it does tie back to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2 a little bit, because in that movie he basically gave up being Spider-Man to become fully Peter Parker. In this movie, he's giving up Peter Parker to become fully Spider-Man. It's all about that balance in his life. And this is going to kind of dive into that from the other side of it. So I do kind of like that dynamic as well. So the thought that they put into that, and again with Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man No Way Home, talking about how he has organic webbing, and Tom and Andrew Garfield's version didn't have that. So it was kind of cool that they threw that in there, and now he's going to get it. So yeah.
This is what I think. I think that May's death, spoiler alert.
Well, it was in the trailer.
May's death, spoiler alert, has brought him into this sort of, I wouldn't want to call it a depression, but it's kind of like an oppression.
Right.
Of where he thinks, oh God, I can't be Spider-Man and have it too. Which I remember Garfield going through something very similar.
No, all Peter Parkers and Spider-Man kind of have a very similar.
I was about to go that direction, Eric. I'm patiently waiting
for Miles
to show up, and when Miles shows up, that's when Marvel fans are going to be like, "Oh boy, here we go."
Especially Brandon's son Jackson there. But to your point on that, there's another shot from this trailer making the rounds. I don't know if let me see if I can blow this up a little bit here. But in the trailer, obviously, if you may remember the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home a few years ago, with this shot of Sandman, Lizard, and Electro against Tom Holland's Spider-Man, there ended up being the other two Spider-Man, Andrew and Toby, in that shot as well. But in the trailer, they were invisible. They were gone. They weren't in that shot. There's another shot at the bottom here from Brand New Day, or going against the Hand, where it appears like maybe potentially some of these ninjas are not going toward Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but against open air. So is Sony kind of doing this joke a little bit to the fans here and saying, hey, remember that shot you all called out online? We even talked about it on the channel about how Lizard's head went one way against nothing. Could they be hiding a couple characters here going against the Hand? Would it be Daredevil potentially, who has come out this week and said he's not in the movie, but we've seen actors lie before, especially in regards to a Spider-Man movie. Andrew Garfield did that. Could it be the Hulk? Could it be Punisher's probably not going to jump in the air like this? Most likely the Hulk could. Or do they introduce Miles Morales in this movie? That's also a possibility. And build it up over a few. Maybe.
I would be shocked if Miles was in this.
I think I would be too. I can see Hulk here for sure.
I was going to say the Punisher. You know,
I just don't see Punisher jumping up in the sky.
In the movie. I don't see him jumping in the sky like that. I definitely see him and Spider-Man kind of. I wouldn't want to say team up, but I would say they're definitely aligning goals.
Well, being there on the rooftops, I could definitely see Daredevil if that's the case.
Daredevil is definitely going to be in Spider-Man. That's going to happen.
We'll see how Daredevil season 2 starts next week.
I have noticed that the MCU has really been hyper focusing on kind of the New York aspect of their superheroes. The Fantastic Four, Spider-Man.
Even the Thunderbolts, I think, was in New York.
Thunderbolts was a New York thing. I'm just saying that it's definitely going in that direction. The Spider-Man trailer looks awesome.
Well, I'm not done. I'm not done with it. I got.
That's fine. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. But anyway, so
I'll talk to it as I go along.
And hopefully Brandon will be back for this too. I kind of want to get his thoughts on this maybe. But anyway, the reason why I mentioned the villains, we still don't know who the main villain of this movie is. They've not told us. However, I got a theory. Now, obviously we saw Boomerang, Tarantula, Scorpion, all the jazz here. They've got this person, shackled to this chair here. Now, obviously we know Sadie Sink has been cast in this movie. She's a young actress here, definitely with long red hair. And these are the shots in the trailer that we don't know who this person is. Now, obviously, the trailer showed them doing some mind control a little bit with the jumping from the lady on the train, the guard or the trooper to up to.
I agree with you, Eric.
So I think what's happening here, Sadie Sink, this is the actress who's been cast. We don't know her role yet. Now, there's a lot of characters this could apply to be fair. But the ongoing consensus online, and I agree with this, she has been cast as Jean Grey in the upcoming X-Men reboot, and I think
she's Jean Grey.
I don't think she's going to be completely bad, but she's going to be a mutant who is maybe not controlling her powers, possibly setting up obviously her debut in the X-Men coming up probably in 2028 or whatnot. And we do know for a fact that Sadie Sink has got a 3-movie picture deal. This could be one, Secret Wars could be the other, and the first X-Men film could be the third. So it could be that. And this is what an artist rendering could look like of Jean Grey in this film, potentially, and again, there's obviously other rumors about her possibly getting into the mind of the Hulk, bringing him back to Rage Hulk, to where he's not so controlled as well in this film. Hulk could be a potential threat as well in this movie because of her mind control. Kind of like when Wanda screwed him up a little bit, back in Avengers Age of Ultron. Could be something to that level. So we don't quite know, but I think that's the way it's going to go. There's another reason why Jean Grey could have been cast in this movie. This is obviously the actress who played her back in the Days of, or the First Class movies trilogy and Days of Future Past here. I don't know if she was she was more Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, but anyway. But Jean Grey has the ability to, guess what? Jean Grey has the ability to restore memories as well. So if you want to bring the memories back to Zendaya's MJ, back to Jacob Batalon's Ned, she'd be the perfect character that once Spider-Man is able to get her under control, to then bring back the memories of his friends who was not able to remember him after the spell. So again, this all kind of flows together. It's a theory right now. We don't know, but I think this would be great if they end up going that route. Hopefully I didn't ruin a movie for you, but
I have to ask though. Would you consider Jean Grey the villain of this movie?
Again, I think it's going to be kind of like a lot of Spider-Man villains end up being misunderstood. They would actually be friendly with Parker, but end up being the bad guy. But at the end of the thing, you know what I mean? It fits as well. So
fits everything.
The villain, yes, but I think the Hulk could be in there a little bit based on mind control, all that sort of good stuff.
I think this is the beginning of them slowly bringing in the X-Men.
They've been planting the seeds for a while. They did it in Miss Marvel. They kind of hinted at her being a mutant, and they've kind of been exploring that a little bit.
Well,
they did the same thing with Namor in Black Panther 2. This is kind of and Peter, they may hint at the mutation stuff. He's going through, but not fully.
They've already got one mutant already that they've been putting in front of everybody's face, and nobody seems to say anything about it.
Who?
It's Franklin Richards.
Well, yeah. Well, Yeah, I guess you could say he might have. I don't know. He's more celestial type situation.
It's
But
the celestial
No, if
situation.
you're gonna go with it, it's literally Scarlet Witch. I mean, they in Civil War, was it? Yeah. She even said that that's what they were. They were mutants. Like,
and as far as Jean Grey,
well, they could use the term mutants back then. It was called miracles back in Age of Ultron and stuff. So, but yeah, and I still want to see a scene with I still want to see a scene with Wanda and Ian McKellen's Magneto at some point, and before the multiverse saga is done. I think that could be great.
The Quickster, the one that was the with Wanda. I can't remember his name. He was like the one that really
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
Yeah, that's the brother. Yeah,
that's the brother. He's another one that was a mutant in that class. I think that was really the first mutant that you put in Marvel, in this version of Marvel, and it was right around the same time that 20th Century Fox and Disney were kind of starting to. They're purchasing 20th Century Fox and stuff like that. Maybe a timeline's a little off.
No, I don't.
But anyways, yeah. But as far as the Spider-Man show goes and movies go, I've noticed a lot of similarities with the comics with Tom Holland's version. Even in the beginning of Tom Holland's version, it was the comics. You know, the web shooters, the young kid, the high schooler. You know,
I'll say Matt, hold on, Brent. Before you move, Brent, Matt, your mic is popping and cracking. I don't know why. But
my cat's in the background. I'm sorry.
I don't know if you can fix her or not. But anyway, go ahead, Brandon.
With him getting the organic web shooters, like the real, like, you know, do you think that whole time where he becomes a spider, the literal spider?
Yeah, we mentioned like man spider was a rumor going around that maybe that's what they're doing. He actually, but like it got weird. Like he grew like 6 other arms, like or 2 other arms to became 4 appendages, or 8 appendages. I said like a spider. So I don't know if they're going to go that whole route, but they hinted at it potentially for sure.
I mean, looks like he was using some of the powers, like when he broke that sword with the web and all that shit.
Those black eyes as well. A lot of people thought that could even potentially be a Venom thing as well. I don't know. Remember, we still got the little Venom, blob rolling around New York City somewhere. So you never know. But yeah.
Ooh,
looks like it was, yeah.
Do you think you see that in this movie? You think you see Venom?
Venom. I don't know if you do. I can maybe see there being another tease at the end of it, but in Secret Wars, yes, because that's where he got the suit in the comics, the black suit. So I fully expect it then. But yeah, I could see that maybe being teased heading into the Avengers film for sure. Maybe not fully here, but yeah, getting to it for sure. Absolutely. And I don't know. And of course, that also coincides. We got the news that there's a Venom animated movie or animated show coming out soon as well. So there's all sorts of stuff. On top of that, today, the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Marvel Studios also announced 3 other release dates for their upcoming Phase 7 slate after Secret Wars, July 28th, 2028, May 4th, 2029, and July 13th, 2029. So as of right now, this is the way the slate looks. It's obviously Spider-Man Brand New Day and Avengers Doomsday this year. Next year, just the one movie as it stands right now, Avengers Secret Wars at Christmas. Obviously, we're going to get Beyond the Spider-Verse with Miles Morales next year too. So we're getting a couple Marvel movies. But then after that, we got 3 movies in 2028 and 2 movies in 2029. And as of right now, based on where everything's standing, it appears that those 5 mystery films coming up after the Secret Wars film, I still kind of wonder if maybe we're going to turn Secret Wars into a 2-parter. It's a rumor right now. We'll have to wait and see. So I can see that maybe being at the 20th anniversary on May 5th, 2028 of the MCU, going all the way back to the first Iron Man film. Maybe you cap it all off at 20 years. We'll see. And maybe there's 4 new films. But if it's only 1 film for Secret Wars, I think that these potential 5 films could look like this. Black Panther 3, obviously that's in the works. We're going to get a new T'Challa, probably in Doomsday and Secret Wars. So we'll get the original multiverse version of Black Panther back here. And sure, you'll have to give up the mantle or something, as it were.
Give somebody good to play Black Panther.
I'm sure they will. Their casting's always been on point, so I have no worries there. I think we're going to get a sequel to Fantastic Four. That's coming as well, potentially set in the MCU instead of their own universe this time. We are definitely getting the reboot of the X-Men, as we just talked about here with Jean Grey, and she'll probably spearhead that along with some other casting, potentially even Hugh Jackman's Wolverine may show up in it as an old Logan. We'll have to wait and see. We're also going to get Doctor Strange 3, in my opinion, which has kind of been on the back burner a little bit as of late due to storyline reasons. and of course the King being changed.
Nobody cares about Doctor Strange.
Well, we're going to possibly get that, and I think the fourth or fifth film could potentially be Deadpool 4 as well. So it sounds like we're going to be
wait for that.
And this fits and this tracks because Marvel and Disney has stated that they want to get back to the characters that they know work, take less risks, not do quite as much, pull back 3 films a year or 2 films a year, or next year there's only 1. It makes sense to kind of give fans a little bit of space to breathe, and hopefully that ends up paying dividends as it all plays out. So I like the plan if that is what the case is. So what are your thoughts on all that and everything moving forward with the MCU?
Good.
Yeah. Looks good. I agree. Cool. Fully agree. Mike's got a few chats here. Let's catch up on a couple of those here. He said, if Spider-Man dressed as Spider for Halloween, would he be Spider-Man or Spider-Man Spider?
Mm.
the Spider-Man. I don't know. But maybe he's just Man Spider or Man Spider Spider-Man. There you go. Yeah, that was the other one for sure. And then he had a quick hypothetical here. He said, if you had to spend a day or more in a movie theater watching every movie from one movie series, cannot leave or sleep until the final film was done, what would you choose? A minimum 5 movies. I'm going to go with the Star Wars 1 through 6. If you want to say 1 through 9, fine. I would say the MCU, but I'd be there for a week or more, probably. So, but yeah, I would say Star Wars, at least the first 6 Star Wars, or the original trilogy. That'd be a good. Well, you said 5, so the first 6. I'd probably do the first. George Lucas's Star Wars before it went to Disney. That would be the first 6. That's what I would do.
Friday the
Lord of the Rings would be another good one with all of them with the Hobbit. Friday the 13th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of pee breaks for sure. How many Friday the 13th movies are there?
God.
Remakes, sequels, spin-off. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason. The whole spiel.
Yeah,
that's different. I'm thinking Freddy Krueger's Friday the 13th. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's Nightmare on Elm Street. You're right.
It's Nightmare on Elm Street. Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of horror movies. But anyway, yeah, I get them all confused. I know Scream and I know Michael Myers and Halloween. I get that. Some of the other ones are a little choppy sometimes. But anyway, Matt, you got any other? You got one?
Lord of the Rings.
All 6.
Yep.
Yeah, it would have to be at least all 6 because
I'm counting The Hobbit. I love all those movies.
You'd be there a little longer than me, maybe, but
I think what was it, Eric? They said there was Academy Award, no cussing, no sex scenes.
Yeah, I can't think of one. In all of them, not even a reference really to. And obviously there was drinking of ale, as it were, but there wasn't really like anything.
Well, drinking was okay in moderation.
And again, I think that's one of the reasons they're popular. Sorry, Mike, but they are. Mike said there's 12 Friday the 13th if you count Freddy versus Jason and the reboot from 2020 or 2009. Sorry, but anyway, so yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's keep it moving here. We got some rapid fire stuff. Then we'll get into a small sports segment, and then we'll get into news and politics here. We've got let's see here, rapid fire. Let's see that. We've got another small little teaser trailer, I guess you could say. So we'll play that real quick. This is for the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 4, which is now filming. So here you go.
You think your world is safe, but your time is about to run out.
What are these, Infinity Stones?
The chaos has only just begun.
So basically just an announcement teaser, basically to let you know the movie is officially filming and on its way March 2027. So just a little over a year's actually almost a year away for exactly, to be honest with you, as of yesterday. So yeah, they also announced the official cast list. There's a lot of rumors going around about whether or not Jim Carrey would be returning. He is officially coming back as Dr. Robotnik, as it were. We got Ben Schwartz returning as Sonic, Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Tails, Idris Elba as Knuckles, and Keanu Reeves as Shadow, James Marsden as well. And I believe they introduced the pink hedgehog. I couldn't tell you her name at this point. I haven't seen the third film yet. I got to go back and check that out. I've seen everything else.
I need to watch them all.
Yeah, Knuckles is kind of one of those that's hit or miss for me because they had this human character and it kind of drove me nuts. But the movies have been good. 3 I've heard was great as well. Ben Kingsley, Nick Offerman also in the cast. Kristen Bell and Tika Sumpter, I believe, is the one who voices the pink one, whoever that ends up being. I know a lot of Sonic fans are going, "How do you not know the pink one?" But I'm sorry, it's not my biggest thing. But anyway, good to see Sonic the Hedgehog 4 coming to us rather soon here in about a year's time. And don't forget the Sonic Hedgehog event film coming out, I believe, in 2028 in December, which is going to be like some sort of team up thing. So who knows what that's going to be? We'll have to wait and see. The DCU and James Gunn has confirmed that Supergirl will in fact take place in between his Superman film and the Superman sequel, Man of Tomorrow. So basically, as they're being released, they're in timeline order. So that's good to know. So if you're watching them as they come out, you are right on track. You don't have to watch one before the other. It's in the right chronological order. So that's good to hear. Can't wait to see Jason Momoa in that movie, no doubt. We also got confirmation of another Jason Momoa film. Kirsten Dunst, who played Mary Jane Watson in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, she is officially being cast in Minecraft 2 alongside, I'm sure, Jack Black and Jason Momoa returning. And she will be playing Alex from the video game. Do you guys know her?
Oh, my
interesting.
Lord. Yeah.
That's an interesting cast.
So there you go. For you Minecraft fans. So that
like
makes it.
You've never played the actual Minecraft game, Eric?
Not long enough to know anything in the story or anything like that. No. So
it's crazy because there was never one to start with. Like I played Minecraft when it first came out, not before it got to what it is now. But like this all was there. Like there was nothing. The story kind of came out of nowhere. Like you had to dig for it, I guess, and like
no pun intended.
Yeah,
for sure. Or build for it, as it were. You had to build it up. Yeah,
these blocks. Characters are like being portrayed in a fucking movie, and like the movie was good. I can't talk shit about it.
I definitely need to watch the movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. Me watching the movie is going to happen before I play the game, probably. But based on what I just saw, just on the look of the character, Kirsten Dunst fits the bill. I think you could definitely make that work. So we'll see how that goes. Good to see her back. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I still wouldn't mind seeing a Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, Spider-Man 4. I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe you get a little May.
I don't think we're gonna get that, brother.
Probably not, but man can dream. You never know, right? Also, obviously, Ted season 2 is available now online on Peacock. There's of course we talked about a couple weeks ago or whatnot that Ted is getting an animated series, a la Family Guy and Seth MacFarlane's world. And the reason being is because Seth MacFarlane stated that Ted is a character-based show. The only thing that hinders us is the expense, as we talked about earlier, the CGI being expensive. To create the bear is a lot of money, but you have these fantastic actors and you have this fantastic writing crew. You can do as many as you want, especially in animated form. So that's why they're doing it. So you may see Ted get like 10, 15 years of storytelling if they have enough to go on in the animated world. And if Seth MacFarlane obviously does the voice and Mark Wahlberg and all these actors come back from the films, got a great future there for the Ted franchise. So looking forward to that. Also, in the world of animation, Firefly. I don't know how many of you, I know my dad especially, is a huge fan of the Firefly season and Serenity movie they came out with before it was unfortunately canceled. But apparently, there's an animated series in the work for Firefly. All of the main cast are expected to reprise their roles. For those of you who have kind of been big fans of this series that's kind of become a cult following, you could definitely look forward to this revival. I think it may even be a bit of a reboot of the series. So we'll have to wait and see how that ends up playing out. But good news for that. On a little bit sadder news when it comes to the world of series, I know Mike in particular, our loyal listener here on the chat, he is a big fan of the Buffy the Vampire series, the Vampire Slayer series with Sarah Michelle Gellar. She announced via a video this week that Hulu has decided not to move forward with the series. So there's no longer going to be a continuation, semi-reboot of that show or whatever it was supposed to be. Apparently, I actually think that that's probably a good thing at this point for a couple reasons. Number one, apparently there was a movie executive, I believe it might have been at Disney, who was working on the series, according to Sarah Michelle Gellar, I think, and many others, that was not a big fan of the original show and didn't even watch it to completion. And he was working on the updated reboot. So if you don't know anything about the show or how it ended, why would you work on it? So in a way, this may be a blessing in disguise. Don't ruin it. Don't screw it up. Just let it be, unfortunately. And it sucks because it seems like a lot of the actors were willing to come back. Now, the other reason is, unfortunately, we also got news today that Nicholas Brendan, who did play Xander Harris on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, has passed away at the age of 54 today. I don't know if he was intending to come back for this series or not.
I don't know.
That's just a shame if that was the case. But either way, obviously his life's more important than the show. So, yes. So, unfortunately, Rest in peace to Nicholas. And I did like his character on the show. I ain't gonna lie to you. I know Micah had me watch it. He was one of the brighter spots, I thought, in my opinion. And of course, yeah, there's a couple other characters too. But yeah, I mean, so this just sucks all the way around. So sorry, Buffy fans. Not been a good week for you guys. Another sad note when it comes to shows no longer happening. A live-action Hitman television series that was in the works from the creator of John Wick is no longer happening. That has been canceled. So I think John Wick or the Hitman series under John Wick creator could have worked. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, but legitimately,
it's basically Wick.
It's John Wick.
Kind of.
Just so, but more stealthy and like an espionage type story. But
yeah, for sure.
It would be like a dark version of 007. Like think of John Wick style of gunplay and stuff like that and brutality.
Yeah,
wrapped around a 007 story.
Yeah. I mean, it could have worked, but like you said, it kind of already exists. Following up on the Xander Harris storyline, Nicholas Brendan or story there, he said, Mike said he had a lot of legal and drug issues. I don't want to speculate about why he passed away, but he was only 54, unfortunately, and so I hate to hear that. If that's the case, he may not have got his life figured out there, which really sucks. It's definitely sad. Definitely talk to somebody, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a problem, for sure. We also got live confirmation of the sequel to the live-action Lilo and Stitch film. It is now going to be released on May 26th.
Excited for this.
May 26, 2028. You'll be getting a sequel to this. So that's coming around the corner about 2 years' time. So that's good to hear. We also got confirmation this week of The Incredibles 3 is going to be coming out about 2 months after that on June 16th, 2028. So hey, a lot of people love this.
Yeah, I like Incredibles.
This is another one that the second one wasn't as good.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they can redeem themselves on the third. So I heard Cars did, but I never did go watch the third Cars film.
Oh my God, go watch it.
Well, Cars 2 was terrible. I didn't care for it.
Cars 3 was the best. It was the best one out of all of them.
Okay, well, good. I'll take your recommendation. I'll go check it out at some point. I always thought the first one was the best, but I haven't seen the third.
Yeah, the first one was good too, though.
First one was good too. So yeah,
the third one's. Man, I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Oh, that's fine. But no, you definitely don't spoil it for sure. But yeah, the 2 release dates for Disney. I've been hearing all this stuff about a live action Aladdin 2 as well, but that's not been officially. I think they announced the sequel is happening, but no release date as of yet. But Disney's always got multiple films coming out every year. So
is it going to be the same genies?
I'm not sure. I've heard it may be a Return of Jafar type situation, but it may be completely rewritten to where it's not like the animated episode. So that may be. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's the case. It might not be as good in my opinion. We'll have to wait to see.
Like I said, I liked him as the genie. I think he
Will, yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, Will might come back. I don't know, but yeah, that may happen. I'm not saying that won't happen, but yeah, I think it's supposed to be the same actors and everything, from what I can tell.
Okay,
for sure. Mike had a super chat. Super chat. We don't get paid for our chats yet, but anyway. So he said, "What is the show you saw the first episode of?" And we're immediately like, "What the hell is that?" And knew it sucked right away. For me, the sitcom Caveman, based on the Geico Caveman commercials. That's a good one. Oh man, I'd have to think on that one. I mean, I know it's happened. There's been, or it may not have been the first episode, but after like 3 or 4 going, this ain't going to work.
There was one, I can't remember. It was bad. I don't think I can remember what it was, but I remember the concept looked good is what it was.
Yeah, and they always do.
And I remember looking at the comments or whatever about it on Netflix where I was watching it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch this shit. I think it was partway through the first episode. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm not the demographic for this show. It's probably still in my damn library because I didn't get rid of it. I have to look it up though to tell you. But yeah, there has been one in my, I think, and I watch anything. You know what I mean? I'm sure I'm the type of person who's like, it can't be as bad as everybody says it is type. And also I'll watch it. And I'll form my own opinion. I've liked stuff that people hate. So
yeah, I've done that.
For me to go, you know what? I'm good, brother.
Yeah, I'd have to think on that one. Maybe I'll try to come up with an answer for you. Mike also said Nicholas Brendan actually had an incident years ago in Terre Haute in Indiana. Actually, word was he died of natural causes. Well, and again, if you have years of drug abuse, it does seem to kind of maybe eventually catch up to you too, which really sucks. I mean, it just this seems like more people than not are not making it anymore these days. It's starting to get a little sad, to be honest with you.
Geico caveman shit is crazy.
That was out of pocket. But as I mentioned a little bit earlier, just to kind of reiterate here, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 officially hits Disney Plus on March 24th, which is next Tuesday. So definitely go check out the second season of that series. We're going to be getting Wilson Fisk as the mayor of New York City in that show.
I'm surprised Wilson Fisk has not been mentioned in Spider-Man yet.
Well, the reason being is because, and again, this whole season could very well tie into Spider-Man Brand New Day. We'll have to see how it plays out since it takes place in New York and all these villains and stuff like that. But the part of the reason why he's not been mentioned in the Spider-Man films as of yet is because there's a whole rights issue when it comes to the Kingpin character and its ownership as well. He's not technically legal to put him in the movies, I think, a little bit. They've got to work that out, because I think if you don't have this iteration of Kingpin to go up against Spider-Man at some point, it'll be a crime. It really would be. Obviously, we're getting the Daredevil stuff, but we've had that for years now. It's just some sort of legal technical issue, unfortunately.
His issues with Spider-Man, the fight with Spider-Man, Marvel did it right in the first Spider-Man Marvel game for the PlayStation 4. That's the first fight you get into is with Kingpin, and it is one of my favorite fights in that whole game. And that game is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
like
they've had some good Spider-Man games. I still need to play some of them new ones. I've got them on my PlayStation, and I plan on buying the next one whenever they come out. So we'll have to see. Mike also said the Caveman show lasted 3 or 4 episodes. I barely lasted 1. I believe them definitely not lasting very long. No doubt.
No.
Oh, what? Oh, so did your bracket just bust?
No. I wish it would have, Eric. UCLA won, and I can't stand UCLA.
Oh, so it did. Did you predict them to win though?
No, yeah, I predicted UCF to win, and they did not.
Well, as we're getting into that, let's go ahead and move on to our next segment. That ties in perfectly here. So let's get into the sports, shall we? Let's do that. Let's go. If I can find it, there you go. So go ahead, Matt. How's your bracket looking?
I have Duke winning. I could have sent it to you for the segment. I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't do that.
You don't have to.
But so people could get actual visual of my bracket. I have Duke winning, and
I think a lot of people probably do at this point.
Sienna the other day had Duke down by 1 with 2 minutes to go, and I was like,
ooh.
Really?
They were down by a lot more than that at halftime. I know that.
As far as my bracket goes, UCLA, for people that don't know, spoiler, UCLA advanced, which sucks. IU and UCLA has had a big time feud earlier this year, if you guys have been watching IU college basketball. But anyways, March Madness is in full swing right now. They had 68 to start with. We narrowed it down to 64 with the I think it's 4 playing games.
I think so.
Upsets going around. High Point beat Wisconsin, which was an upset. High Point is a small, I believe they're a Christian school in New York. And the coach beat Wisconsin. A lot of the critics said that High Point didn't play anybody during the year and they weren't good enough and their strength of schedule. Well, their coach walked up to the microphone and goes, well, we played somebody today.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that. So I always love when the small schools get to play the big schools. Let me tell you something. There was a game I watched. It was South Florida against Louisville. Now, South Florida, they knew they weren't going to beat Louisville. They knew going to that game that they weren't going to beat Louisville. And these kids, they were dunking the basketball left and right. They were showing off. They were hitting threes from downtown. And, I thought to myself, you know what? If you want to get beat, that's how you want to get beat. You want to get beat making them remember who you are and having fun. Because you're not going to beat those big schools.
No.
And I think it's a shame. I think it's a shame that the committee schedules them that way. I get that there's seeding involved, but the little man, you can't have your your cake and eat it too. I get that.
But when they win, though,
it's so much fun to watch them win.
Sucks for that school they beat, but you know.
But you know what? But you got beat. But you know what? You'll go out that in that time knowing you got beat by the better team. You know.
Right.
And I love seeing South Florida. Their students were handshaking the Louisville players. You know, it wasn't like a cry, like they were sad. It was like a thank you for kicking our butts. We did the best we could. We just weren't good enough for you guys.
Right.
You know.
Now, admittedly, I'm not the biggest college basketball watcher, so I'm a little out of my wheelhouse here. But I do have a question: is there any particular Cinderella story or darling you think is going to come out of this tournament this year? Anybody got a chance to go deep?
I would say High Point has a chance. My pick to go deep is the St. Louis Billikens.
Okay.
They're not really a small school, but a lot of people wouldn't recognize one of their center. Their center is the kid who brought Indiana State all their wins last season, and he transferred to St. Louis. So I'm kind of rooting for them before him. You know, his name's Robbie Avila. He has like 17 different nicknames that he goes by. Like one of them's like Four-Eyed Kareem Jabbar, and the other one's like, he's got all kinds of Nasty Navilla is one of his nicknames. And what's really interesting about this is he's getting NBA attention.
Oh, I'm sure.
And the fact that he's getting NBA attention right now is really cool because it brings me back to the Larry Bird days. You know, Larry Bird was from Indiana State and made a name for himself. But yeah, as far as the Cinderella story goes, Eric, High Point is one that I'm keeping an eye on for sure.
Well, Mike had a couple chats here. He said Duke barely got by a 16 seed that only played 5 players. So,
yeah, they did not rotate their players. Mike's correct.
That's crazy, Towner. I know that for sure.
The players played 45 minutes of basketball.
That's insane. He also said they subbed a guy in with like 30 seconds left just to commit a foul. Then they took him out. So yeah, wow, that's pretty impressive.
Just
I'm not gonna lie.
Trying anything, you know. I mean, a 16 seed, I'd try anything.
Yeah, why not? What do you get to lose, really? I mean,
you have nothing to lose from that.
It's not happening very often where 16 seeds beat a number one. I know they have. Sorry,
except if you're Purdue.
I know. I got to throw that out there.
And let me tell you something. You want to talk about some hot seat talk? Matt Painter better win the next 2 games.
Yeah,
or he's going to be on the hot seat.
Mike said High Point is from High Point, North Carolina. My sister-in-law actually attended there her freshman year and played golf there. So yeah, and he also said going to school at Bloomfield, we always loved playing the bigger high schools. We hated the change to class basketball when they let the schools vote on it. We voted to stay single class. Okay, I see you. Yeah, I mean there was rivalries like a lot of schools you couldn't beat in high school.
Sports news about Bloomfield. I'm glad Mike brought that up. Bloomfield won their regional.
Oh, okay.
In basketball, and they are locally, and they might be going to state in basketball. So
that's pretty dope. He also said Larry Nerd, Steph Blurry, just a couple of his nicknames.
So, Larry Nerd.
Larry Nerd is wild.
Larry Nerd is the best.
That's pretty good. I like that one. Because the I get it. But anyway, for sure. So yeah, like I said, I'm not a big follower, but I know a lot of people are. A lot of people love it. I'm more of an NFL guy when it comes to the sports section here on the show. Well, occasionally we like to branch out a little bit, especially during the off season. Talk about maybe some racing or something here and there if something comes up, or basketball. So we may not cover the brackets as much. I know this is the biggest probably weekend for it. I know the finals ain't for a few weeks, but it is in Indianapolis this year too. So.
You did mention racing. Your boy Chase Briscoe is sitting 27th in NASCAR points right now.
Dang, it's a long year though.
Not a good look.
I know. Now. But hey, wasn't it like the first year that the one driver won the first 3 races too? I can't remember who that was, but he wrote one. No one else has ever done that. Won the first 3 races of the NASCAR season, so I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, Mike said Bloomfield they play Washington in the 4-team semi-state tomorrow. So there you go.
So that's what all this stuff is I've been seeing around.
Yes, it is, Brandon. That's what's going on.
There you go. There you go. Well, that makes sense. I mean, it's a big deal. No doubt about that. So hopefully your brackets are still in good place. Matt's may not. We'll have to wait and see. He said
I've got 15 of them. It's okay.
So Bloomfield wins. They'll play in the 1A title game next week. So there you go for all you Bloomfield fans out there who may be checking us out here, at least locally. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah. So if your brackets ain't busted, good luck. If they are, sorry. This is why I don't usually fill out my brackets because I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to college basketball. I know college football a little more, but even then it's a little spotty here and there. But NFL, I'm your guy. For some reason, yeah, I'm definitely your guy. And we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL too here because there were a couple things this week. Obviously, free agency still open as well. And we got a couple other moves this week, not as many as the last few weeks. But Justin Fields has been traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. He will now will officially back up Patrick Mahomes. There's no way he's going to be the starter. The only way he plays this year is if Patrick Mahomes is not ready to play at the beginning of the year. I think that's what this
exactly.
Yeah, that's the only thing this is for. And to be fair, it's better than any backups you have outside of Justin Fields. So I get the move, and I know Justin Fields like he wants to go somewhere where he can compete for a starting job. That's not here. You're only going to start if Patrick can't. That's the way this is going to go. Everybody knows it. Justin Fields needs to get his mind wrapped around that. For sure. And I'm sure he's aware of that. I know he said he'd like to, but hey, if he has a great start, like maybe the first month or however long Patrick Mahomes is out, other teams will see that. So this is an opportunity for him to showcase his talents for sure. So we'll see what happens. The biggest move of the week is probably the fact that Jalen Waddle, the Miami Dolphins, was traded to the Denver Broncos.
Wild decision.
That to me, like Miami's just like, you want a player? Here's a good one, take him. Like they're just cleaning house. It's gone.
I've heard rumors that Miami's ownership is marketing the team, and I don't know how true that is.
To sell it, you mean?
But I've heard they're marketing the team, and if that's true, then I understand dumping all the players.
You mean to sell it? Is that what you're talking about?
No, they already have an ownership in place.
Oh, okay.
That's going to purchase the team.
Oh.
But I think that decision for Waddle, Waddle's like, hey, I want to go get out of here. You're rebuilding now.
Well, Waddle is going to a potential Super Bowl contender with Denver.
Wild choice.
Yeah, and of course with Cortland Sutton on the other side, he needed a true guy on the other side to kind of take pressure. I think this makes a lot of sense for Denver, especially with Bo Nix. Well, I think it makes a lot of sense. I was just kind of surprised, but yeah, if Miami's just looking to clean house, start fresh, you might as well clear all the cap space and get all the draft picks you can get. So it makes a lot of sense there from their point of view.
Yeah, you know what? So old Barkus got to getting when the getting was getting good.
But here's the thing: he also then should not be allowed to come back if they rebuild and become a contender. So, but how fickle fans are, Matthew.
I don't know. I don't know. Rebuilding, I get, but like losing a piece like Waddle was insane.
Yeah. Well, I forgot this part. Mike wanted to. First of all, he said Linton's in a 2A semi-state as well. For those of you locally who care, yeah. And then he said, Matt, quick baseball preview. Who's bitch slapping the Yankees out of the playoffs this season? Who's surprising everyone? Will there be an umpire with good eyesight? Give us the lowdown.
Go through your football section, Eric, because there was something I was going to bring up about baseball anyway. So go through your football first, and I'll talk baseball. Okay.
We ain't got a whole lot left, so it's kind of short this week. Christian Kirk of the Houston Texans has now been signed by the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, they have Mike Evans now. Speaking of this move here, and Juwan Jennings, who was a serviceable receiver there, I would like to see the Colts go pick him up. I think he'd be a good, solid replacement for Michael Pittman. So I don't know if they'll do that because I think the Colts did sign. I don't have the graphic for it, but Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, who was a part of the Titans and I was also most recently in Miami too. There was also another guy that they offloaded. So, but again, I don't know how. I mean, obviously Miami didn't even really use him, and he didn't do much in Tennessee. But Tennessee's got their own issues, so we'll see how that plays out for the Colts. But yeah, Juwan Jennings, I think Juwan Jennings was asking like somewhat of $20 million per year. I don't think he's worth that. Come down on that a little bit, and then we can talk.
Please do not go to the Texans.
No, definitely not. I don't think they need. Texans don't need more wide receivers.
They don't need any more ammo.
No. Carson Wentz is now going to probably be backing up either J.J. McCarthy or Kyler Murray, but he has been re-signed by the Vikings. I don't know if this is a three-way quarterback battle. It's definitely a two-way quarterback battle, I think, between Murray and J.J. McCarthy. But Murray obviously probably has the edge between these three guys. But interesting they've seen there because obviously Wentz says we used to be in name to some regard. Andy Dalton's been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles from the Carolina Panthers. So back up for Jalen Hurts, I will assume here. But This is probably more like a break glass for emergency situation, I imagine. So
Carson Wentz.
Andy Dalton. I didn't even know these two guys were still in the league, to be quite honest with you. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's wild. Andy Dalton is like the new Carson Wentz. Like nobody gives a crap about Andy Dalton anymore.
It's kind of, just different teams here. Colts signed Cam Taylor-Britt, and I'm just going to do my best impersonation of the New Day. Who?
I've heard his name before, but like.
Now, the only bright spot with this is I think it's become abundantly clear. The Colts also signed a linebacker from Arizona who also
definitely defense.
Yes, obviously defense, but the reason being all the defensive moves. Cam Taylor-Britt, much like the Arizona linebacker, both used to play under Lou Anarumo's system in Cincinnati. So it's clear here the Colts are moving their defense this season into more of getting players that fit his scheme. That is the plan. Whether or not these players end up being good, I don't know. I like the secondary because I think they did also sign another corner or safety as well. So the secondary looks pretty good. Linebackers and pass rush is a little sus right now for me, but at least the overall scheme and plan, I think, is very obvious at this point what they're doing. And for that, I understand some of the moves. I really do. But we'll see what these players' names end up doing in the long run. So after free agency is over, obviously we got the draft now with around a month or so to go before that. We'll be covering that here on the channel too, so stick around. So NFL might be a little touch and go when it comes to news over the next month or so before the draft hits. But based on free agency moves, this is the overall power rankings after the moves have happened. The Ravens have jumped 9 spots, mostly due to the fact that they got Trey Hendrickson there. Basically, is probably one of the reasons there. And if they'd have gotten Max Crosby, they probably would have jumped to number 1. But that was not to be the case. So yeah, I mean, obviously some moves were there, but all these preseason, power rankings stuff, all hill beans and jack squat when it comes to the actual. We'll see how the draft goes, but we'll see how it all ends up playing out for sure. One last NFL bit of news I want to talk about here. Of course, T.Y. Hilton announced his retirement. The Indianapolis Colts wide receiver, who also had a short stint with the Cowboys after the Colts let him go, has officially announced his retirement, says he will forever be a Colt, and he thanks the fans in Indy for their support. So it's tough to see the ghost go, but unfortunately, we couldn't bring him a ring. I hate to hear that too. Definitely was one of the better receivers we had for a long time, who also went through some quarterback carousel. Obviously got to play with Andrew Luck and all that. But thoughts on T.Y. Hilton? Sad to see him go.
Eric, would you consider the Ring of Honor possibility for T.Y. Hilton?
Maybe I'd have to take a look at his stats, but yeah,
just a little spot
Colts,
somewhere.
Hall of Fame, not so sure.
No.
But Ring of Honor, yeah, I could see that.
Well, I say Colts Ring of Honor, not.
Here's the stats right here. Some guy posted it with a video, but the stats are 9,812 career yards, 53 touchdowns, 4 Pro Bowls, 2016 receiving yards leader, and an elite touchdown celebration with the TY. So, yeah, I'd put him in the Ring of Honor. I'd have no problem with that.
Fans really got behind T.Y. Hilton. I for one was a huge T.Y. Hilton fan. I used to. Even every time when I was at home, every time we get a touchdown, I do the
T.Y. and I was going to write on the thumbnail for the show. I wrote "Thank you, T.Y." I didn't know if anybody knew if I wrote T.Y. That's what I was going to do. But thank you, T.Y. for all the years you gave.
Poor T.Y. went through a lot of quarterback turnover in his tenure in Indianapolis, and I still love the fact that it didn't hinder his career at large.
Well, I mean, he mostly had luck for most of his career. But yeah, it just, other issues and stuff with the organization, unfortunately, just kind of led to the downfall of the Colts those years. But Mike said, remember, there were people that also probably said who about several IU football players before they showed them who they were last year. That is true. So again, I'm not saying these guys ain't good. I'm just saying I've never heard of most of these people that the Colts are picking up. But maybe it'll all fit and work out. I don't know. I hope so. But
something better, because man,
they squandered the opportunity last year.
I still have a little bit of faith in Chris Ballard.
Well, I have hope.
I have a little bit of faith in Chris Ballard. Yeah. I still think the Colts will make a playoff eventually, and it'll right itself.
Yeah, I mean, what has it been, like a decade or so since we? I know it's been a decade since we won the division.
But to do that, the Colts are going to have to. They're going to have to make a step in a different direction.
Well, under new ownership, A new quarterback coming back for the second year. Hopefully he stays healthy this time. You lose a receiver, your defense is going to be reevaluated. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, the offensive pieces are mostly still there outside of Michael Pittman. So that's a plus. And what that was a pretty good squad until the injury started.
Yeah,
to pile
but like
up.
that's the thing. How can we be so sure we're gonna get another year out of Taylor? Ran his ass off.
I know, and there's going to become a time that's going to fall off. He's not repeating last year. He's not, and even in the second half of last year, he ran out of gas or something happened because it wasn't the same as the first half. And it's one of those situations, kind of like Brandon over the last few years. He's like a wait and see approach, and I am like that now too. But it's like a wait and see approach is now okay, even if we're 8-0, and like it's like okay, 8-0 last year, great, but then the wheels fell off. We almost have to get to the playoffs now before I'm like, okay, great, But so it's rough to be a Colts fan, but I know it's frustrating. But we'll keep covering them here because we bleed blue around here. Outside of Matt, he just believes whatever team is important this week. But
yeah, I told you, no, at its core, Matt is a Patriots fan.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, Matt, go ahead and give us your quick baseball thing so we can let Mike go because he said, "Damn it, is it really almost 12:30?" Yeah, I know. Run a little long here, but we didn't have a lot of sports. So
well, the baseball news is the Yankees are going to. We'll see how the Yankees do this year. Their rotation is a little more experienced this year. Veteran leadership is always a good thing in baseball. When you have veterans that know how to pitch the innings. That gives me a lot of confidence into what they're going to do. As far as the team that's going to give us the most trouble this year, I have to say Toronto. Toronto in our division will probably give us some trouble. The baseball news I was going to bring up is MLB announced today that they are going to start allowing jerseys to have hoods made into their jerseys. So players in like Chicago or New York, when they're in the dugout, they can actually put their hood up.
Oh, okay.
That was announced today. So a lot of the players were excited about that. They originally they outlawed hoods. In fact, I think it was Lou Piniella who used to go on to the thing and baseball would outlaw the stuff he'd have on. He'd say, "Oh, that's bullshit. I got to wear what I want." He had a big cigar in his mouth and, because they're baseball in the mid 2000s and that's what they did. So that's basically what I've got about baseball. I only have one Yankee on my fantasy baseball team. You'd be proud of me.
Out of your 30 teams, like your brackets, probably. But I know Mike makes that joke about my fantasy team, so I had to throw it back at you. But so just one quick serious question, real quick answer. Taking your heart out of it as a Yankees fan, who do you think wins the World Series?
Right now, the all heads-on favorite to win the World Series, it'd probably be the Dodgers.
That'd be a repeat, right?
The Dodgers have a lot of money. They have a lot of players. As far as a dark horse pick to win the World Series, don't sleep on the Cincinnati Reds.
Okay. Interesting.
Cincinnati Reds.
That's a team I've not heard a whole lot out of. Again, I don't follow as much as most, but
the Reds have a manager. His name's Terry Francona. He was the legendary Cleveland Indians manager for many, many, many years, and is famous for turning low market teams into contenders. He's famous for doing it.
Nice.
And when he signed with the Reds last year, I go, uh-oh. I knew that's where all the players are going to want to go.
I got you.
As far as the Yankees go, it's weird to see the Yankees with beards now because Hal Steinbrenner IV had a press conference last year and told the world that the Yankees can now have quote unquote well-trimmed beards.
I heard about that. Yeah.
And the Yankees are famous for having no facial hair. It's something that Steinbrenner, the original owner of the Yankees, believed for many years that his team would look younger if they didn't have any beards, and it was something that he used to believe, and it was part of their dress code. But now that they're doing it, because some of the free agents that were in the major leagues stated that they would not sign with New York because of their dress code. So that's why they changed it. Devin Williams, who's the closer for the New York Mets now, declined to sign his tender with the Yankees because of their dress code.
Wow.
So,
well, that's the thing. And if that hinders your team from doing well, that's probably a rule you might ought to reevaluate because it's kind of a silly rule. I understand
silly
it,
rule to have, and that's kind of how I felt too. And
but hey, that is the practice they've done for years, and stand by it. I guess I understand, but at the same time, maybe it's something to reevaluate. So it sounds like they did. All right, guys. Well, that'll do it for the baseball preview. Hopefully, that'll satisfy Mike there a little bit. I'm sorry we don't talk about baseball or basketball or some other sports as much. It's just not my wheelhouse as much. I mean, if you guys want to talk about it, by all means, go ahead. Please do so. I welcome your guys' opinions on those things. I'm just not going to have or probably prep it as much unless there's something you specifically want to talk about. Let me know. So, but I'm definitely down for that if you want to, for sure. Mike also says, as I prepare now to crash, a quick shout out to my twins who will be turning 8 years old on Monday. Dang, where was the time? Has the time gone? Happy birthday to your 2 little ones, by all means, for sure. A little bit early there, so hope they have a great 8th birthday party and whatnot you guys got planned for them, I'm sure. So yeah, as we get ready for the politics section, I hope to see you all next week. Good night and God bless. So we'll bring in Miranda here real quick. She's coming in here to get ready for the politics segment, which we're about ready to switch over to. So happy to have you here tonight.
Hi, YouTube. Bye, YouTube.
For sure. Hi, bye. All right, guys, we're going to switch over. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube and Facebook, we are going to be canceling the rest of the stream here for you guys, but you can still watch the rest of the show on our Rumble and X exclusive. You can find the information for that in the description box below. And if you're on Rumble, stick around. We'll be right back after about a 3-minute intermission, and we'll be back with the news and politics segment. So here we go.